clicked. And we're going to go for it. This is the first I want to say. I'm a sharpshooter. And can you spotlight us, please, Namdi? And like I said, let me apologize before we start. I'm sorry already if you get offended along the way, but it's not going to be my fault. You know, that's a choice you make. You can choose not to get offended. You can just love me as I am, as I do you. So in case something is said by me, and it most likely will be because you're not used to it, I apologize already. Truly, deeply from my heart, I do. And I ask that you forgive me. So one of the first things I want to, a friend, you know how people are writing books, all kinds of books here and all that stuff. And so a friend of mine has written a book, and she put it in a group we are both in today. And she put the different how do you say, the different countries where you can download the book and purchase. So she's in where is she? One of them, Sweden, or I think Sweden. Is it Switzerland? Or I mixed it up. Anyway, she's in one of those European countries. And then she put, you can download it and buy it in the US, the Amazon link for that, in the UK, the Amazon link for that, and something else. Then she said, if you are in Nigeria, you can read it for free. And she said, just click on this link. So I have Kindle. So I shop on Amazon. So I have lots of Kindle books. So I went on and I clicked on it. And it took me to my Kindle. But I did not see how to download. Then a question came to me and said, wait. Why is she giving us in Nigeria that book to read for free? Let's think about it. If somebody is giving something out for free in this country called Nigeria, and I'm in Nigeria and I'm Nigerian, I'm here to rebuild it. Listen, does that teach you how to, get your fishing rod, put the bait at the bottom, know where to put it in the water so you can catch fish? Or does that give you the fish for free? They are sponsoring Black people. I remember I saw a university advert on WhatsApp. And so it said in Europe, in UK somewhere, yeah, in UK, yeah. And it said, you don't have to get the right mark to get into a university. You will bring it down for you if you are Black. I was angry. So the person that sent it to me, I replied, I said, please, this ad, please, which universities is, who are they? Why are they reducing the marks? Why are they reducing it for Black people? And we are jumping at it. Somebody's giving you a book that they sweat, blood, sweat, and tears to write, and he says it's too expensive. It's us now. Give it to us. I'm not one of them. You need to wake up. That kind of thinking keeps you poor. There's sponsorship. There's scholarship. Can't people give us sponsorship and scholarship? For what? Do the work like everybody else. Because you are not down. You are not down. You want them to give you the fish. So you go, I got the fish. That what? And then when that person goes away or that person dies and their son and their daughter is not willing to do the same thing, you remain poor. That starts with a poor mind. And it's not the fault of the white man. It's not the fault of the wealthy people. It's your fault that you choose to be poor. But you choose to be poverty-minded. But I am not going to join them. I'm not helping you by keeping you poor. Go and work for the money to pay for the course. If we decide to give one person a free place, okay, yes, we do. If we choose to sponsor, oh, yes, we do. But that we're just dashing you. And you are happy. You don't get to go away, keep quiet, be still, and no. And they say, I want to buy this thing and it costs 250,000 naira. I earn 250,000 naira a month. Right now, I have 25,000 naira in the bank. I really need this course to change my life. Think. God did not create you poor. There is not one poor person here on the face of this earth. It is your thinking that keeps you there. Help us now. I hated that. When I lived in the UK, I hated it. I insisted that I will hire only Nigerians to do anything. Help them now. Help them. I said, what does that mean? We will. So when coaches want to sell things for free, or I say, why? Why are you giving it for free? You are keeping me down there. You're not encouraging me to wake up. Wake up, wake up. Kemi, how can you make this happen? Listen, you cannot make it happen. That's what I was saying to you yesterday. The thinking spiritually is impact. Your ability to know that this realm is limited. This physical, natural, material realm it limits you. And so when God created you in his image and likeness and made you like himself, spirit, he gave you limitlessness. He gave you infinity. He says, you are one with me. He said, have I not called you God? He said, I've given you my divine nature. You don't think at that level. You always, we go to church. When the pastor says, it's the year of amazingness, you say the same thing. Then that's January, February, March, April. You should have changed your job now. You are suffering. Do you know how many people are sitting in pews in church every Sunday and they are suffering? Because they expected to be somewhere. They are frustrated. And we are keeping quiet. And then we say, hey, this Christian went to commit suicide. This Christian is suffering from depression. This Christian. They made a choice to remain dumb and stupid. They chose that. I've already apologized. So if you are offended, I've already apologized. Just take the apology. Just say she has said sorry. I'm not abusing you. I know from whence I have come. I know the low places I have been. I don't need nobody's flowers, nobody's accolade. Don't give me anything. I am growing up like you. I'm just a little girl. This is a rare opportunity for me. For me, it's opportunity. This is not Coach K. Don't become Coach K. She's this. Don't say that. Go and look in the mirror and look at yourself and call yourself those things. I need you to wake up and stop being poor. The next time a white man or a rich man or woman offers you something free, say no, thank you. I will earn it. I'll pay for it. You don't know how, but people, go in the realm of the spirit, please. I beg you. You don't know how. We will teach you. But beware. We are not willing to teach you if you are not ready to learn. Now, I'm not just taking anybody on any course. It's never going to happen again. I'm going to interview you. I'm going to watch you. I'm going to check you out because I will not cast my pearls before swine. I'm done. I am done feeling sorry for anybody because you ain't nobody's fool. You've just chosen not to think. You can't do that. For as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Who are you? Who are you? Check out how you think, what you think, and then you can answer yourself. We can't remain like this. That's why the white man comes into our country. We have the resources. And he says, for a few dollars, for a few extra dollars, you can keep it. Let's take all the gold in your minds. Let's take all the cobalt. Let's take all the bronze. Let's take all the titanium. We have it. We don't work to grow those things. God put it in our soil. And because of our stinking thinking, the time you say I've come. I'm fearless. I'm also dead. You can't kill a dead woman. I'm dead. You see me? He says you have to be dead. He said you have to die to your flesh. Oh, hey, he's spreading me. I am not this. I'm not my tent. I'm not this flesh. I am not. I'm not. So I'm fearless. We have come to change things. We have come to make things straight. We have come to ensure that those people who choose to do evil and watch their own citizens suffer, we have come to change things. It starts with how we think. The leadership must learn how to think. And we will teach them. And we will teach you. We are going somewhere. And we're going to a good place. We're going to have our airlines back. This Nigeria, the West is going to be begging to work with us. Remember, I said it. Remember, I said it. Oh, say this mad woman, she said she's going to change Nigeria. Watch us. Watch the might of God over. Watch some people go blind and say, ah, what happened? What happened? They may not go blind with these eyes, but they'll be blind. And until they say, okay, we'll treat people right. All right. We'll serve people. All right. Okay. We are not going to be greedy anymore. Until then. And we frankly don't care. I don't know who else is with me on this. So the we is me and the Father, the Holy Ghost, and Jesus. I'm not, hey, watch me. They will shoot. It won't work. The bullet will be discharged. It will stop in the air. Because I will not go before my time. It's not going to happen. I know from whence I think. Yeah, finished. My brother Sam is here. Many of you know Sam Obafemi. And he's a special man to me. I don't mean any other way. He's a married man, so please. But I rarely talk to these people, but I hold them in my heart. So when I reach out and they say yes, he said yes barely 2 or 3 days ago. 2 or 3 days ago. He didn't hesitate. You don't take people like that for granted. And then when they talk, you listen and you take notes. You don't play. So his topic, because there are so many of them, so I didn't remember the topic, so I had to open it up and see. Is your thoughts your life? My brother. He has such a beautiful smile. You can't but love him. So, my brother. I've been drinking water to calm down. God, it's so good to see you. Thank you for being here. My brother, go. You see, that's another special brother. They are brothers, so it's not my fault. It's just that you girls, you just say, you're busy. Guys are simple. My brother, your thoughts, your life. Go ahead.
Coach Kemi, good to have you. Thank you for having me. Good to see you again. And happy 60th. I'm still struggling to believe that you're 60. It's very, very, very crazy. Thank you so very much for doing this. This is what you do every time. Constantly, bringing people together and I like your long-term philosophies, thinking, having to get people to move from a place of rot to a place of flourishing and liberty and freedom. And that was such a powerful opening there, very powerful opening. So to everyone on this call, members of my community and members all over the world, thank you for joining this session with Coach Kemi as she's hitting 60, very powerful. So she has started with a good pitch, and I just want to build on everything that has been done prior to today, with all due respect to all the speakers that may have come before today. The conversation around thinking is very foundational, yet very complex. Very foundational, yet very complex. Foundational because that is the beginning of everything. Complex because they say 92% of people would rather not think. They say 6% or 5% of people think they are thinking. And that 3% of people are actually thinking. So there is a hypothesis that all over the world part-time, only 3% of the population are thinking. 92% would rather die than think. So that is where the complexity comes in. 92% of people would rather die than think. So when I hear Coach Kemi vibrate and is offended in her spirit around people not wanting to think, we see that everywhere. The reason why there are idioms like religion is the opium of the masses is because people would rather die than think. The reason why the strategy of the average politician is to impoverish their people so that the little token becomes like a do or die is because 92% of a population will rather die than think. The reason why when elections come, we'll rather fight which person is from my ethnicity or my religion or etc, etc, is because our people would rather die than think. So thinking is both foundational yet very complex. Very foundational yet very complex. It is said that there is nothing called a future. It is said that you can't wait for a future. You have to create the future. So what that means is, what is your experience today? Where you are today was a future in the past. Everything happening to us today was once a future. So where we are today is the future we created years ago. You may not accept it. You may not like it, but that's the reality. Now, some of you will say, but there's some things that happened to me. I did not create them. They are events of life, maybe loss of a loved one, maybe loss of a material item, or maybe a downturn in economic realities, and so many things that happen that we say we don't plan for. But guess what? When things happen, it was Zig Ziglar or Brian Tracy, no, Steve Covey. Steve Covey said, life is 90% the things that happen that you claim you didn't plan for. And no, 10% the things that happen that you claim you didn't plan for. And guess what? 90% of the way you respond to that. So which means that actually, inclusive of the things we didn't foresee, our response to that is a function of our thinking. So let me give you a very small personal story. I worked in Lagos between 2004 and 2011. I was an employee in Lagos. And then I remember I was very, very passionate about leaving my job. I wanted to set out into self-employment. And I remember my parents were very concerned. My siblings were very concerned. My then wife was very worried. Like, everybody around me felt it was a wrong timing. I remember saying something. I remember saying, every time in this journey of self-employment, if it means starting all over again, I will. The second statement I made was, I will never be stranded. No matter what, I know I'll never be stranded. These two statements turned out to be very cardinal in my life, that as of today, I've never been stranded, and I have literally had to reset my life many times. And every time I reset my life, I didn't go back to the last place I was. I was higher than the last place I was. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because, yes, sometimes life comes at you very hard. That's a fact. There are so many things about life that is beyond our control. But the very first place to settle is, who am I in the scheme of things? What's my understanding of the scheme of life? What's my understanding of the scheme of life? And so tonight, in the very short minutes, I'm going to share some very cardinal ways that you can help your thinking and become ruthless at it. Let me go back to elementary physics. In secondary school physics, we were taught that there cannot be movement without friction. They use an example of a tire, a car tire. A car cannot move on the road without friction. It means that for movement to happen, there has to be impact. Something has to give. If that is the case, then I'm here to tell you that the rigor of thinking is the friction you need to make progress in life. That's the very key thing to think about. Rigor of thinking. Am I thinking in the direction I want to go in my life? So let's talk about thinking. What's the definition of thinking? Let's define that word, thinking. Because already we have said, some people would rather die than think. So let's define the word thinking. Does anyone here want to unmute and help me define the word thinking? If anybody can help me with that. What is thinking? What does it mean to think? Anyone?
Come on, there's no wrong or right
Okay,
answer. Thank you.
Yes,
good
Mary.
evening, everyone. Yeah,
Good
good
evening.
evening, everyone.
Yeah.
So for me, I would say thinking is the art of processing.
The art of processing. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Mary, thank you. Who else? Stephanie, your hand is raised. Let's hear you. Thank you, Mary.
Hello, everyone. I would say thinking is the way you reason, your ideology, your sense
Think-
of,
Mm.
your sense of reasoning, how you think, how you, well, let me not use the word think, how you see things. So your
How you-
ideology.
Yeah, ideology, sense of reasoning. Fantastic. TJ, let's hear you, sir. Thank you, Stephanie.
I think thinking is. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you. Are you speaking? It seems to be frozen.
Okay, great. I think thinking is basically. Is it breaking?
It's breaking.
I'll just chat it. I think I'll put it in the chat box.
Okay, that would be nice. I have in the chat room, Ben Nnamdi says to imagine. Mercy says using thought or rational judgment. Interesting. Okay, I think I like these things I'm hearing. But we can establish some key words in all these definitions. One, reasoning. To reason things. To reason things means that there is a spectrum of consideration. To reason things means that there is a spectrum of consideration. There is a flow of thinking. There's a flow of reasoning. And then Mary said processing a thought. I can see Ladi also says how we process things. To process something requires dwelling, requires staying on something, to reason it out. And so what are the qualities of thinking? The qualities of thinking means that there are things to think. There are options to consider. That's a quality of thinking. There is a dwelling on a thing. It requires some time to dwell and process. And then most importantly, it requires an output. There has to be an outcome from thinking. There should be something that thinking will produce. I'm saying this because these three elements are very important. There are many things or a few things or things to think about. It requires dwelling on something that you are pondering on and processing, and it requires that there should be an output. So when we ask that you need to think for yourself in your life to grow, to prosper, to flourish, you need to remember that it will require some time and requires that there is an output. Now, the size of the output expected may reflect the size or quantity of time required for that exercise. And let me give you some simple examples. If I want to plan for the next 10 years, I'll be required to spend more time dwelling on what it will take. It may not take me as much time as a decision around what you want to eat or drink now. So the size of outcome or size of output would most likely be proportional to the quantity and quality of time required to go into thinking. And these are very, very critical things. Last week, we were having sessions in my office, and one thing I kept charging the audience about was, at this time in our lives, we must take responsibility for the quality of life we want. I don't think there is a better time ever than now that people should take full responsibility for the quality of life they want. When I go on Twitter these days and I see the battering and the back and forth of insult and fighting and all that, one thing keeps coming to my mind. I am responsible for the quality of life that I live. Whether the current government or the past government or the future government is responsible, I must ensure that within their responsibility and irresponsibility, I am responsible for the quality of life that I must live. Then somebody will say, yeah, but the government behavior impact on the economy, and the economy is the determinant of something. If you're on my WhatsApp, today I saw is a list of laws. Yeah, let me pick my phone. I need to read this. I need to read this because this is very key. Mercy says Twitter is a toxic platform. Permit me to disagree with you, Mercy. I find Twitter a platform where I glean a lot of things. In fact, this thing I'm about to read to you now, I picked it from Twitter. You may not see it, but let me see if I can. I'm going to remove the blur background on my video. Then I'm going to show this, but I'm still going to read it anyway, just to show you. So I'm going to read it. It says the 5 most famous laws. While Messi is correct to say is toxicity, I go to Twitter, and in all the toxicity, I glean what I can, what I want. So I'm going to quickly airdrop this to my laptop because where I placed my phone seems to make the network better. So I'll not stay here.
Just
with the phone, just so that the network doesn't go off. I hope you can still hear me.
Yes, yes. You froze a couple of times, but we're good now.
Yes, that's the exact reason why I'm going to it. Oops, it said it failed.
No, go ahead.
Try again.
Go ahead. Keep
I've
going.
gotten the image. I can share it, sir. Let me drop it in the group.
Okay. So
You should leave it on. Leave it on, Namdi, so we can follow as he speaks about it.
Okay.
can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to talk about the number 4 law. So there are 5 laws. I got this from Twitter today, but I want to talk about the 4th law. Okay, I'll read the 5 laws, then I'll focus on the 4th law because that's the one that I resonated the most with. It says there are 5 most famous laws in the world. 1, Murphy law, which says the more you fear something happening, the more likely it is to occur. Number 2, Kidlin law. It says if you write a problem down clearly, operative word clearly, second operative word specifically. Now, you cannot operate at a thinker level without being specific. I have executive coaching sessions every day, and if there's anything any of my coaching clients can say is that when you say something, I'll ask you, what does it really mean? It's a question I never fail to ask in a coaching session. What does it really mean? Can you be specific? Drill it down to the last point. I do that a lot. And sometimes it looks like this man just wants to stress me. And I say, that's the quality of the coaching. If I can't coach you to think thoroughly to the point where it cannot be decomposed, I haven't done coaching. So Kidlin law says, if you write a problem down clearly and specifically, you have solved half of it. The 3rd law, Gilbert law, says, when you take on a task, finding the best way to achieve the desired result is always your responsibility. Now, do you see when I said, it is my responsibility to live the quality of life that I think I deserve? That's Gilbert law. It means that If I have a specific lifestyle I want to achieve, Gilbert Laws says that it is my job to find the best ways. Pay attention to the word ways, not way, to achieve the desired result. It means that you must sit down. So when we're defining thinking, reasoning, processing, it simply means that I, Sam Obafemi, I want to drive a particular kind of car. I want to impact a particular size of audience. I want to live in a particular kind of environment. Then I will come back reverse engineering. What must I become to achieve what I must, to attain what I have to? And that goes to law number 4, who you become. For me, that's the law that resonated the most for me, the Wilson law. It says, if you prioritize knowledge and intelligence. Now, even though the law talks about money, I like to call it doors. When I was leaving my job 13 years ago, I of course didn't know this law 13 years ago, but it's a belief system I've always carried. I've always told myself that the more I know, the more I will succeed. The more I know and practice, the more I understand, the more I dissect, the more you will succeed. And if there's anything I want you to remember from this session today is having an appetite to know things and understand them well. Know things and understand them well. For example, you cannot be limited to the degree you have. It's low. That's low, too low. I'm a degree holder. I have a BTech in computer science. Imagine if all I know is computer science. No. Know so much, and in knowing so much, understand so much. That is why the Bible says, in all thy learning, get understanding. Understanding of the things you are learning is so key, such that anywhere you open your mouth, it cannot be in doubt that you are outstanding. Which is why I'm confident that I always create an economy within the economy that governs how I live my life. And this comes back to you thinking. You have to task your brain, charge your brain, demand from your brain. 3% of the population think. 5% of the population think that they are thinking. I like to think that those are the ones that rehash motivational statements. They read a motivational book and spit it out and say, and they feel like they are quoting motivational work. That's my assumption. They say 5% of people think that they are thinking. They are one of my mentors who call them echo. They are echoing thoughts of other people and they think that they are thinking. But 92% of a population will rather die than think. They will rather be chanting, "Is my year of glory," and be relying on everything pastor says and not process it at all. Anything the pastor says is correct. Anything their coach says is correct. Anything their political leader says is correct. It's like a psychological taboo to think, is this person saying something sensible? It's like a taboo to them, they themselves. So when the Bible says that the Berean church went back home and dissected the scripture to know whether we that are in the 92%, well, you that are in the 92%, if you are here, I want to assume you are not in this room, that's like a taboo for you. Because if you believe in thinking, even I, as I'm talking now, you will do some fact check. That's how thinkers do. Thinkers don't necessarily try to oppose or criticize or bring down ideas and ideology. No. Thinkers x-ray ideologies so they can come to an informed decision, because we have established that thinking should produce an outcome. And if thinking must produce an outcome, it means that there has to be a thought process of dissecting thinking. So I want to charge you and encourage you guys. And I'll be hoping that some of you can post your questions in the chat room so I can answer some specific challenges around the areas you want me to deal with, but I would like to leave you with some very profound set of principles. Number one, the more you know and understand, the better the quality of your life. That is very key. Number two, thinking should aspire for an open mind. They say the purpose of education, I think it was Montessori that said that, Marie Montessori, she said, the purpose of education is an open mind, not a closed mind. And that's what thinking should do. Thinking should lead you to have an open mind. You should be more positively curious so that you're able to navigate your journey through life. Thinking lack of thinking does not allow for an open mind, because it means that you are subject to being fed with any information. And because you are not thinking, you will take any information that you are served and you run with it. And that's the way these things work. When I was leaving my job, I did an assessment whether I would succeed as an entrepreneur. And the assessment said I had 97% chances of failing as an entrepreneur. Oh my God. I honestly just moved on from the assessment. I had already made up my mind I was going to leave my job anyway. So I didn't dwell on the assessment. I just moved on, like, when I go there, all right. I didn't think on it. Honestly, maybe it's good I didn't think about it, because it probably would have dampened my motivation. This is my 13th year of doing business. I've never defaulted in paying salaries 1 month. And I'm not complaining. So why am I saying this? When we refuse to think, we'll be fed everything on the surface of the earth, and we'll be running blindly with what is not ours. That is why there's a guy, he's late now, Sean Stevenson. He said, any feedback that does not empower you does not belong to you. But the truth is that you don't even know the feedback that does not belong to you unless you dissect it and mirror it against your belief system and principles that have guided your life. Because, for example, if I come across, say, a laid-back, lazy person, and I'm saying, with these patterns, you may not really go far, and you say, God forbid, God forbid, God forbid. Well, the question there is not whether I'm cursing you or I'm trying to project bad on you. The question there is, have you sat down to actually say, are there patterns and habits that agree with this statement? Because like Kunle Shoriyan will say, every prophecy in your life requires an agreement on your part. And sometimes it's not an agreement of, yes, it's true or it's not true. Your habit can agree with a statement. That's where thinking comes in. The ability to sit down and reason. The ability to process things that are going through your mind and decide on an outcome that is necessary. So, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, let's take thinking seriously. Let's devote time appropriate enough for the size of outcome that we seek. Let's begin to create the kind of quality of life that we want. And this comes through a lot of studying, a lot of understanding, a lot of meditation. You know, when we say meditation, people just start thinking of yoga and all those Western things. Plus or minus, you may or may not like meditation, but I have to be honest with you, making time personally and privately to think about the quality of your life is so priceless. Making the time to sit down and say, am I enjoying how I'm living now? How can it be better? What are the micro steps I can improve my life? Because according to Kaizen, every micro improvement over a long time becomes a major improvement. Bill Gates will say, it is not your fault you were born how you were born. He actually said, it's not your fault you were born poor, but it will be your fault if you die poor. I'm going to rephrase that to say, it is not your fault you were born how you were born, But it's a big unacceptable taboo that you remain how you are born, especially how you think. My mother said, my father said, then you just transfer it to your children. No analysis, no processing, no thinking. My dad used to say, what is this life? Is it not to sleep, to eat, and to wake up? When I grew up, I said, actually, why would they kill ourselves? What's this life? Is it not to eat, to drink, and to wake up, to sleep and to wake up? Then I became an entrepreneur and I said, no, this life is not to eat and to sleep and to wake up. Oh. There's more to it to this life. If I did not sit down and ask myself, come, what's the meaning of this statement, self? That's how I only have scripted my daughters to say, you guys don't need to stress. What's this life? It's not just to eat and sleep and wake up. So we need to process our thinking. Well, Lauren Femi says, how was the process towards quitting your job like? I was it for the okay, how was it for the first 3 to 6 months? What would you advise considering doing the same? This question, every time I open my mouth and talk about that transition, I get a question like this. So let me see how I can answer that in 3 minutes. I like to say that given the current situation of things, I'll probably have dealt with it differently. So whatever answer I give you now is from this standpoint of how I was 13 years ago. However, some things I think are still consistent. First and foremost, whether you leave your job now or you leave your job one day you will leave your job. Whether it's by retirement or by resignation or by they're telling you go away, we don't want again, or the company, somehow one day you will leave your job. So it means that the ability to sustain yourself outside a regular salary will happen to all of us one day. Which is why many of us, our parents retired honorably and then struggled to live on, sustain themselves, and then fully dependent on their children, for those who have responsible children. So my take on this is this: train your brain to make money outside a regular salary. Train your brain to make money outside the regular salary. I may not answer your question directly how you expect it, Olorunfemi, but there are principles that are the same. Whether you go into business or you don't go into business full-time and leave your job, it's a very important skill to train your brain to make money outside your regular salary, because one day that salary will not come. And it's important that your brain knows how to create money, because actually, what is entrepreneurship? Is printing money. Entrepreneurship is about printing your own money. And how does it work? It means that I see a problem, I think I have the solution, I learn how to communicate the solution, and somebody wants to pay me for it. Simple logic. So you may not have to leave your job full-time if you want. If you want to leave your job full-time, honestly, I think it's okay. My own is that train your brain to live outside your salary, because that for me is the most important thing. Whether it's self-employment or entrepreneurship or intrapreneurship, like the terminology says, whichever way it works. I left my job. For the first 6 months, everything was rosy. It looked like that was the best decision. Then after 6 months, up until 2 years, I suffered. Oh, I will not lie. I suffered. My children couldn't go to school for a whole term. I was almost running back to my former employer to say, please, I think I made a mistake. It took my HOD to say, I know when you were living here, you had a passion and I want you to stay with it. That statement set me back. And I said, you know what, let's do this. So I will not tell you that, oh, since I left my job, it's been rosy. No, for a few months or more, it was serious sapa. But hey, here we are now. You know, but ultimately, train your brain to live outside your salary, because that's the most important skill an entrepreneur has. You know, it's very, very key, because if you can create money from your thinking, no job will hold you to ransom. No job. No job. That's why today I can comfortably decline some opportunities when I feel that, no, now, this money, just sitting in my house, I can command this fee. What's that? So it gives you liberty, it gives you courage, it gives you confidence. And that's where understanding is very key, because as you're studying problems, if you understand problems, you can, you know, proffer solutions. And when you proffer solutions, the world is waiting to pay for it. And then you learn how to communicate your solutions. You learn how to strategize your pricing. All this has to do with studying and understanding. The only thing I'm going to say about leaving your job or doing business, if in case that's what someone will go away with, train your brain to make money outside your regular salary. That's the biggest thing you can do for yourself. Because that way, even when you're 100, you're making money.
Come on.
Because printing money has nothing to do with how old you are.
Yeah.
Provided you can, if you can at least shall communicate, whether it's by writing, by talking, by doing your eye like this, anyone. I saw a rapper that is mute, a Congolese. A rapper that is mute cannot talk, but he's rapping and he's making money and doing shows in Congo. I say, hey, these like things are happening. Oh. People are thinking, creating magic. And you're just saying this, oh guys, you know, increase my salary. This my employer is very wicked. Please, very, very key. Chibundu says, in understanding concepts, what mental modes can be used to acquire concepts from books or courses to solve problems? This your English is a lot for me, but let me try to maybe I can understand what you mean. But my take is you are trying to say, how do we transfer what we've read into practical concepts that can solve problems? If that's what
that's English. That's simple. I understand that one.
Yeah, thank you. Please help some of us.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is my take. There is always a problem around you. For example, when I buy books, I don't buy books because, oh, the book has a popular title. I buy books based on the fact that I think I'm seeing a problem. I don't have the capacity to solve it. I look for a book. And when I buy books, I don't aspire to read the whole book. That's not how I operate. I pick a book, I look at the table of content, I look for the chapter that addresses a problem I'm trying to solve. A pricing problem, a marketing problem, a solution. That's how I read books. So when you pick a book, find the relevant section of the book that answers like a light bulb moment, like, hey, then you go into practicality. And of course, solve the problems around you first. Some of us are here in Nigeria. We're trying to solve problems of a problem in Australia that we don't even have access to. You don't have anybody in Australia who has the problem, but you say your solution is global. Well, the test of universality is that it has to solve a local problem first, then you scale it. Thank you, TJ, for mentioning the name of that guy, so that people don't think that I'm just creating stories. So Chibundu, I think that when you pick a book, go straight into which content or section of the book addresses a problem you have been trying to solve. And as you are reading the book, try to find real human problems around you that the content is solving, because books serve different purposes. Some books are just for information, some books are just for motivation, but some books are for practical problem solving. If you are reading a book for solving a problem, look for a local problem and solve it. When you're solving the local problems, then you scale. And all this comes to communication, really, because the most important skill set an entrepreneur must have, aside the ability to print money, is communication. No matter how good your solution is, if you cannot tell somebody in a simple way that, guy, this headache, I get the solution. If you take this solution, this headache will go in the next 30 seconds. If you cannot communicate it in that way, as a painkiller, you cannot make money in business. So all of thinking has to come with a simplicity of communication. Let's look at the Bible. The evolution of the Bible has come to the point where we have the Message translation, Passion translation. Do you know why? Because the scripture has to be communicated in a very, very, very simple way.
Yeah.
So the broken English version day.
Yes.
That's the way it's supposed to be. So it's one thing to have knowledge, it's another thing to have understanding, it's another thing to communicate it to the person you want to sell to in a manner that makes them get it. They should just connect straight. I was telling my office accountant today, she did a report. Tomorrow is our board meeting, and she sent me a report, and I said, I am not an accountant. I don't understand your terminologies. I need this report in a manner that when I read it, I don't need to call you. That is how we should be doing our thinking.
Yes.
You should be thinking at the level where anything you communicate, you don't need to be asked questions. It should just sell itself. And that way, your life becomes very relevant. People will want you badly. People want you with a lot of passion. And once people want you for what you give them, you are sold for life. Just keep reinventing, rinse, repeat. And that's the way it works. So I hope I've added value to someone in the room tonight. And I really do appreciate Coach Kemi for this opportunity. I don't take it for granted. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you. I deeply appreciate you. To dissect and make people get it. Chibun, do you use so many big words? I really appreciate you. My English is simple, but if this is how you roll, bro, keep rolling that way. Well done. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I just want to add to that. There are two things. Jesus told those guys who had gone fishing all day. He said, Dr. Atiba is here. He said, go cast your nets. And say, cast your nets. It had nothing to do with where they cast the net. It had everything to do with what they were thinking when they heard that instruction. Because today, some of you will not do what this man has said. Like yesterday, John Obidi, some of you will not do what he says. And you will say, hey, it won't work. Hey, my village people. Hey, you know, in this Nigeria, our culture, just keep quiet about your culture. Stop it. It's killing us in this nation. I'm not dying with them. I'm alive. But the way you think about the instructions you are given will determine whether that instruction gives you the results that you desire. The other thing I want to mention is he kept saying, I said certain things to myself. Well, I cannot suffer. Once, no, I wanted to go back to my work, and my HOD said, you had a passion. I want you to go with that passion. And he said it was those words that took him back. Naomi is here. Please, can you bring her on, spotlight her? Yeah, can you please spotlight her? So I want to look at, she's just brightened up this screen. Let me just put my own off. Let me just leave so that the screen can remain bright. She came and boom. I'm sorry, guys. This is just me. You know, we're chilling here. You know, my brother said something about welcome. He said something about the way he faced things. You know, something happened to me about 2 weeks ago, and I noticed, you know, when this is my phone, and so you can pick. Let me not use the phone so I don't damage it. This is some sweet wrappers. I can pick it, I hold it so that I'm not holding it strong enough, it falls. Or I can hold it, and I can hold it. And no matter what wind blows, I am going to keep this thing in my hand. And it's going to stay here till I achieve what I want to achieve. I realized that I did this a lot with everything. Absolutely everything. Cleaning, washing, everything. Me, I'm an open book. I don't know about the rest of you. Cleaning, washing, loving, everything was just, he didn't say that to me. She didn't to me. Then after a while, I'll bounce back. Okay, I will hold it tight. Then I said, enough. You're either going to hold this, get it done, or leave. You are not required on the face of the earth, Kemi. If you are not going to hold it, get it done, and ensure it is done. One of the reasons, I was speaking with Dr. Atiba the other day, and I said, so why do you think people don't stay with something and go to the end? And I was writing some of what he said. I can't quite remember if I can get the page on time. He said some things. He said, we do not have staying power. He said, then he said something in Yoruba. Let's bring some wisdom. Let's apply some wisdom to this thing so that it can work. We don't do that. We just go in like jelly. It doesn't matter. Then when water falls, we just melt. Oh, it didn't work. Then when someone says, it's free, you're rushing there. The line is from Ojuelegba to Ikeja via Lekki. Because it's free. Stop it. Stop it. That is thinking on steroids. Stop it. Wake up. He said you are responsible for the quality of life you think you should have. Not your village people, village people's village people. Not because it's Nigeria. They say, I'm seeing, it's like we're drugged. I'm seeing people standing at Canadian embassy, this embassy, that embassy. You want to get, what do you call it? A visa. People are now selling to get you a date. Oh, there is war. Dr. Louisa will be here. Is it tomorrow or day after? And there's something she calls WAR. We are ready. We are at war. It's war. To the people who choose to think thinking, and the people who decide that we're going to make other citizens suffer, they forget that this money that they are getting, they're not going to the grave with it. They're not spending it there. How many clothes can they wear at once? How many cars can they drive at once? How many different foods can they eat at once? Will they never get full? How much money can they spend at once? Oh, come on. And some of you enable them. Hey, yes, sir, yes, sir. Oh, I see white men around. Or Asian. I was queuing for the COVID injection. Not COVID, whatever we did there. I think I was about to travel or something. And then we were queuing up, nice queue, about 7 of us. Everything was going. There were guards at the gate. And this car drove into the gate. Our own car dropped us at the gate. I think we all entered. But this car drove into the gate. And the Asian guy walked out. His wife walked out. Walked past all of us on the queue. And started talking. And was commanding. Come and see the gate man shaking around him. Oh, hey, ha! Everybody kept quiet except your sister. Me, quiet. Because of what? Because of what happened. I said, excuse me. Some of us are on the queue. It's called order. Then I looked at the gate man. I looked at the guys in there taking whatever they are taking. I said, can we be treated with some respect here? Can we be respected? Everybody was looking at me like that. I said, what else will happen? Let it happen quickly. I'm dead. You can't kill a dead woman. Let it happen quick. Then everybody calm down. No, I said, no. This is my country. I am black. You can see that an Asian man is throwing money and you answer, don't be a slave. Will you please respect us? He needs to get on the queue. And he was talking about, I said, excuse me, sir. You will get on the queue. And we will be orderly. Everybody kept quiet. You see, it's time to talk. Don't fight anybody. Just speak the truth. Nobody can argue with your silence. And truth needs no defense. None. You just drop it and you be going. You don't have to fight. If they push you and they want to get your phone, it's okay. You can call it karma, whatever. It's clear. When the wicked are empowered, the people suffer. When the righteous are empowered, the people thrive. You just have to be in power. You just have to be in power. Sir, don't go, Uncle Sam. If you have time, please stay with us. So we are begging. If you don't have time, because we know the wife is at home, you can go. But if you have time, we don't mind that you're still here. Thank you, Dr. Atiba, my special brother. You see, that's another special brother. I met him on the 29th of June. I just met him on the 29th of June. He opened his mouth. That was it. That was all. Oh, I just needed him to open his mouth. That was it. And so he's here today. And my sister. When I smile, I don't look like this. I have to work out my smile. When she smiles, she just lights the place up.
Wow.
Hello, God. I came before her, I think. I mean, you didn't make an it's all right. We'll discuss when I get there. But hello, my sister. Thank you so much. I saw her after what? 4 years or something like that. That was the first time we were meeting, actually. We've known each other like 2015, 16. And so all these wonderful people, they're sharing the stage today, and we are going to go. People say help or leather. Let me apologize again. No. For those of you who are not here when I apologize at the beginning, if you get offended, remember I've apologized. So just take the apology if you choose to get offended. These two people are going to speak truths. You hear? We're going to have a conversation. You're going to be putting your questions in there. Is this the same? No, it's not Tolushe. That's Toluwashe. So let us begin. Dr. Atiba, Wait till don't say it here. Let me find out what you. Wait till no, don't say it. See, because there are so many titles. I have to find this title. What's your title? I don't remember its title. I don't see your thoughts, your life. Yes, yes, yes. And then how your thoughts create your stories. That is the story queen, Naomi Osemedua. So please, are you meeting yourself for the first time? I think so, Dr. Atiba.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't met Dr.
And they're
Alfred.
both doctor. Oh, they are both doctor.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hi,
don't play. Oh,
hi, Dr.
don't play.
Alfred.
So
Hello, ma. How are you? Good to see you. Good
Good
evening.
to see you too.
Good to
Good
see you. Well done.
evening.
Yeah, good
Thank
all
evening.
right.
Well done.
you.
So how
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
thoughts, your life, Dr. Atiba, and how your thoughts
Mm.
create your stories. Let's start with Naomi, please. How do
Okay.
our thoughts create our stories? And how can our thoughts create the kind of stories? Because a story is something that's already happened. It's not something you're
Mm,
about to do. It has happened
mm,
to you. And your
mm,
thoughts created that happening. So how can
mm.
we ensure that the story we are going to tell is the kind of story we want to tell? Good, bad, ugly, we all go through the process. But how can we use our thoughts to create great stories, ma'am?
Mm. Wow. First things first, thank you so much for having me, Coach Kemi. It was so beautiful meeting you for the first time recently. We've been connected since Periscope,
Yes,
and
yes,
you're saying
yes,
4 years, almost a decade,
yes,
almost a
true.
decade, yes.
Yes,
And, we got to
Wow.
meet, and it didn't feel like we were meeting for the
yeah,
first time. I'm
exactly.
a big fan of your work, and it's such a
Same.
privilege for me to be here.
Thank
I don't
you.
even know how you were 60. We still need to have that
Me
conversation.
too.
Like, I don't know. I
Me
don't know.
too.
I don't know. But thank you for having me. Thank you to everyone. I see a lot of my people here. Mercy, McAnn. I see quite a number of my people. And of course, the octopus himself, Coach Sam Obafemi. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, yes, it's good to see you all. I am very, very passionate about storytelling. It transformed my life and it continues to transform my life.
Mm,
I speak a lot about the power of our stories. I actually believe that our stories are a gift. And if you're hearing me loud and clear, I want you to put that in the chat. I want you to put your name and say, my story is a gift. So I want you to say, Veronica, your story is a gift. Mudia, your story is a gift. Ruth, your story is a gift. I want you to put your name and I want you to personalize it because that's really where it starts from. Sometimes we go through experiences and we feel so ashamed, we have regret, we feel so much pain, we want to disassociate ourselves, from the experience. But the truth is, we're all a sum total of the experiences we've had. I wish I could tell you, that thing which you went through, has not shaped your life. It's one thing for you to believe it. It's another thing for you to live in denial and just say, you know what, I want to just forget about this thing as though it never happened. I'm so sorry. I really do apologize. I know Coach Kemi has apologized, but I need to apologize again. I'm so sorry to bust that bubble, but it has shaped you. Whether you choose to believe it or not, it's irrelevant. That experience, good, bad, ugly, has shaped the person that you've become. And sometimes you might be wondering, why do I act the way I act? Sometimes it's unresolved trauma. It's all of these unresolved issues that you've refused to accept because you want to forget about the memory of that experience. But I make bold to declare again that your story is a gift. And to the question about how we can use our thoughts to create stories, how we can use it to transform our lives, this is what I will say. If you believe that whatever you've gone through didn't kill you and you are here, you are alive, in other words, you survived. If you believe that you are still here for a reason, I want you to say, I am here. I want you to put that in the comment. If you believe that you went through something, clearly you didn't die because you're here right now. You're alive, you're well, you're here. If you believe that which didn't kill you gave you something, I want you to say, I am here, because that is the truth. Whatever you've gone through that you survived that didn't kill you gave you a cure. This is how you need to start thinking. For you to transform your life with the power of your unique stories, it starts with your thought that this thing happened for me. If you start asking, why did this happen to me? You will miss the gift and the cure that you have. You are alive. You are still here. So first things first, it starts with your thought, realizing that whatever didn't kill you gave you a cure. And the truth is, every time I say this, I say it from a very deep place of empathy, because I have heard some of the most heart-wrenching stories. There's so much grace for the work I do, because sometimes the things I hear, I wonder how I still sleep at night. That's the truth. I mean, the kind of stories you will think, no, this one is, it has to be a movie, but it's real. Like gut-wrenching experiences that people have gone through. And the truth is, while we may not be able to undo that which you've experienced that was really ugly, while we may not be able to, go back and find your abuser and find the person who hurt you and hang them on a stake where they really belong, while we may not be able to do that, I need you to understand that you are still responsible for your healing. You are still responsible for what you take out of that experience. And this is why you find two people go through similar experiences. One person comes out bitter, another person comes out better. The only difference between these two people is one person chose to hold on to the pain and the trauma and the agony, quite justified. I must say that, because I remember when I went through my experience, and I would say often that if I chose to stay in that place of anger and bitterness and depression, I would have been justified. I walked away from everything for a love that I found. And 9 years later, I was wondering, how did I get here? I could have been justified if I stayed in that place of resentment, anger, and bitterness, but I knew that was not going to serve me well. Instead, I chose the path of forgiveness, choosing to forgive myself, choosing to forgive those who have offended me. And I need to stress this: forgiveness is not about the other person, because sometimes those who have hurt you, you may never find them. They may never in your lifetime. I know of someone who at the age of 15, as a virgin, was raped by 4 armed robbers. As a virgin, in her home, her home was raided, and while the armed robbers wanted the presence of her father, they had her in their custody, and they kept threatening, come out or we are going to violate this girl. And they raped her. Tell me where she will find these people to say, come and apologize to me and tell me sorry for violating me and taking away my innocence. It will never happen. It will interest you to know that today, this woman is a trained, certified sex therapist, because one of the things they did to her was, of course, I mean, her entire perception of what sex meant was a violation. She constantly lived in fear. It affected everything, her relationships, her marriage, until she decided to take her power back. And tonight has to be that night where you say, you know what, I'm going to take my power back. If you're ready to take your power back, this is how you transform your life with the uniqueness of your stories. You have to be willing to take your power back. Please put that in the comments and I'll stop here, because I know there are more questions, but I want you to put it in here. I'm taking my power back. I'm taking my power back. Enough of giving power to the villains in your story. You are the hero of your story because you survived. You are still here. You have a cure, and the world needs the gift of your story. So yes, we're all taking our power back. Agreed. Thank you. Moving on. Coach Kemi.
Yeah. All right. So you guys keep writing. Please, if you have questions for Dr. Naomi, write it now. Don't wait till Dr. Atiba finishes and then. So I know we're meant to end at 9, but it's not going to happen. Yesterday we ended at 9:40. So as long as my guests are here and I'm here, I'm going to be talking to be recorded. If nobody's here, I'll finish talking. When I finish, and then we'll send you to record it when we're done. So please write your questions here and we will. But you are free to go when you need to go. Please do. Don't feel that you have to stay. All right. So I love the way she said, and the fact that she said, I want to say the way she said it. Did I not write it? The way she said, you are still here. You are the hero of your story because you are still here. A thought is a focus. So if you are focused on the fact that those people did something to you, or you missed out on this, or you couldn't travel, or you are focused on the wrong thing, you should be focused on you and where you are going. That's what this is about. And that focus is a thought. It's a thought. It's a thought. You are still here. I am still here. I loved it. The way she said those things, you are the hero of your story, you are still here. I thought, that's true. I felt an oomph on my back, like, come on, Kemi, that's why you are doing what you are doing. That's why you are here. You don't need to apologize for how you speak and why you speak. People say, hey, calm down. My entire life, every member of my family, oh, you talk too much. Your voice is too loud. Do you now see why? You say, shh, shh, shh. I used to get upset. Am I telling them that their own voice is too low? No, this is my core. This is who I am. I guess I was created with a microphone in my throat. What were you created with? Enjoy it. Use it to the full and make no apologies to anyone for being who you are. Dr. Atiba, your thoughts, your life. Talk to us a bit about that.
Dr. Kemi, like you know, I will call you. I'm a bit intimidated tonight, and I'll tell you why. I tell you why because I just felt, you know, with the genre of the people that were speaking. I mean, why should I be speaking right now? I mean, Coach Obafemi, yourself, Dr. Naomi. I'm just busy learning. You can see me. I was just, you know, trying to pack everything and soak it down. Oh well, it's fine. It's fine. We're going to talk tonight.
That's who you are.
We're going to talk tonight. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you for being who you are. And like Dr. Naomi said, honestly, I mean, for God's sakes, if this is how 60 looks like, God bless us. You understand? This is beautiful, honestly. Yeah, so I'm going to start talking. You're welcome. I want to start talking tonight and just talk and pick up on one of my favorite scripture because it's been affecting my mind for years. So Proverbs 23 verse 7 says, and it's common, everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. That's the interesting thing. It says, for as a man thinks in his heart, thinketh in his heart. That's what KJV says, thinketh in his heart, so is he. Amplified says, for as a man, as he thinks in his heart, so is he in behavior. In behavior. Now, I was looking at another version and it so got to me. It was so interesting. Totally different from what we would emphasize, what we would look at. It says, for he is like someone who keeps accounts. That's a complete Jewish Bible. Someone who keeps accounts. Now, how do we relate that? It means that our thoughts are like accounts for our lives. Our thoughts are like records, like database that actually play out for our lives. Do you want to know who a person is? Just get the record of their thoughts. Look at their life. Look at the way they think. Like I was speaking with Coach Kemi yesterday, and we were observing some things, and I said it, that I like to observe patterns. I look at patterns of people, you know. So my first degree is in statistics, so that kind of influenced me. So whether you like it or not, as a statistician, you take records, you take data, you take information down, you record things. And when I meet people, the first thing I'm trying to analyze is, the pattern of their thought process. What are they thinking? How are they thinking? Because you see, by that, you know how to relate with them. You know how to get the best out of them. You know how to relate with them based on their frequency. Successful people and people who fail, it's because of their thought patterns. Their thought patterns. You can never outgrow your thought level. Your life, your environment is a product of your environment. And your environment starts with what you think. Your thought is the input. Now, this is an interesting thing that I found out, and I took my time to research. I discovered that our thoughts come as a result of what? Of impulses that come to our brain, right? So people say, how does thoughts come? How do they come? Yes, because your brain has collected myriads of information from all your senses everywhere, and then a stimuli comes, enters your neuron, and then it comes as a suggestion to you. Now, but this is the thing. The fact that a thought comes does not mean that it is real. I'm going somewhere. The fact that a thought comes does not mean that that is you thinking it. No, it comes as a suggestion. We must be careful not to accept every thought as our own. Immediately you own up that thought, it becomes yours. So fear can come. Henry Ford said something very powerful. He said, if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. Now, the underlining part of that is, if you think you can, in other words, you have accepted that I can, then you're empowered. Once you say I can't, it disempowers you automatically. And there's a problem there. So it's very important that we understand this, that a man's thoughts, is what will control you. Oh, Dr. Kemi, I was thinking something today. I was talking with somebody, and one of the things that came to me was the fact that I was saying to the person that, see this doctor thing, for years, interesting thing, people had been calling me Dr. AAA as an alias for years. Alias for years. Back in the day, it was not a reality, but people were calling me. So one day, when I got this, you know what somebody said? Somebody said, in Yoruba, Usha already, Dr. Sha, you called yourself into it. It came as a thought. It became a suggestion. I accepted it. I imbibed it, and it became a reality, because when it came, it did not come when I was expecting. It just came. Thoughts become a behavior. You think about it, you act from it. When you act from it, then it becomes a habit. Once it becomes a habit, it becomes a lifestyle. So we're looking at how your thoughts influence your life. The kind of thoughts that you allow, whether they're positive or negative, will determine the kind of actions you will have. And we know that there's a law that states that there's, for every action, there's an equal but opposite reaction. In other words, there's a law of the cause and effect. So for everything that I do, there's an automatic effect. There's a result for it immediately, whether I like it or not. So if I want to have a good life or a great life, then I need to start thinking thoughts that are possible. I need to start thinking thoughts of things that are empowering, things that are great. You know, I say to people, why is it that the first thing we're always thinking is, this thing will not work? Why are we always thinking, I will fail? Why are we always saying that to ourselves? Why are we always saying that, oh my God, they won't call me? Why that? Why not I got the job? Why not I made it? Why not this is me that they're calling? I'm going to be on that stage. You know, there was something you said when I remember we were speaking on that stage on 29th. You said something, and that was that was really powerful for me. And exactly what I have been feeding on. And it's simply this. You must start visualizing. See, when we begin to visualize things, the kind of thoughts that come to us, it changes everything. In just a few days, in just a few weeks, when you change the kind of things you see, the kind of things you expose yourself to. So I'm saying that you can control the thoughts that come to you by changing what you see, by changing who you listen to, by changing what you hear. I shout a lot to people about atmosphere. Atmosphere. The environment around me matters. I will not allow it. I will not for anything be sentimental.
Come on.
If the people around me are not speaking the kind of things I want to hear, that I want to use my spare time, because this is what it is. The mind is fractured into two. A part of the mind handles memories, and a part of the mind handles imagination. I don't want my mind to be stored with memories of things that will destroy my future. Memories are information about the past, while imagination are potentials for the future. So I'm looking at myself saying that this memory that I'm keeping now, is it going to help me to build that future that I'm looking for? So if it's not, oh my God, quickly I change my mind, I move away from there, kick out of it. Because the kind of thoughts that come to me as memories, they matter. That's why I so much buy into what Dr. Naomi was saying when she said, you need to let go. You won't even have people, oh my God. Some of us are still in prisons. We are still in prisons. Why? Because we refuse to let go the thoughts of the past. And it will come as memories. So what do? Remove it, delete those memories, and get new ones, get new thoughts, get new information into your mind. Because whether you like it or not, you will have thoughts from the memories of the past, and they will come. So the question is, how do I allow? What do I allow into my memory bank? Like I said, it's like that. It's like a database. And so for me, it's just so critical that I ensure that my thoughts, oh my God, I create memories for my children, create memories for myself, create memories. We laugh. We do, because these things will come back and reform us. This is the dangerous part about thoughts. They form us when we are completely helpless. That's why we have what we call the subconscious. It's working underneath everything. And it's just doing its own thing. I just want to, just one or two things that I want to just really read. You know, that came to me, I really want to read. You know, I really want to just read here. I wrote them down. Your thought life is how your mind perceives, number one, processes, and adapts the world around you and in addition to you. It processes things. That's the reason why I've made up my mind. I will never work with people whose frequency are too low for where I'm going. The frequency of their thoughts matter. When you work with successful people, you will discover that the way they think differs. That's why they say that great people talk about
You're freezing.
ideas. They talk about projects. They talk about things. Think about what they think about. You'll be wondering what's going on here. So it's very important that we understand that. Put yourself into atmospheres, and that's where that thought life. So I started asking myself, Coach Kemi, I was
You are freezing.
I was telling myself
You are freezing.
something
You are
the other
freezing.
day.
Dr.
This was
Atiba.
about 2 years ago.
Dr. Atiba.
Oh,
You are freezing. You're starting and stopping.
can you hear me?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, wow.
Go ahead. Okay, you're frozen again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
beautiful. Let me change this.
Frozen again. You need to change your. Maybe he needs to change his network. Do you need to change?
Hello?
Do you need to change your network? Because you froze out again.
Okay. Okay, is this better now?
Yes, it's
okay.
better.
Is this better? Okay, yeah. I had to change the network. I had to change the network. Yeah. All right, good. So something happened to me a couple of years ago, and I was just wondering. I was asking myself, I was doing what I should do at my level, but I wasn't getting the kind of results that I wanted. And I was just meditating. I was meditating, and it hit me. So I spoke to a mentor of mine, Tunji Babajide at that time. And I said to him, I said, what are you reading? So he showed me his library, what he was reading at that time. I said to myself, oh, I said, what? Are you serious? When I saw what he was reading, I knew where the problem was. The kind of thoughts that you expose yourself to will determine the kind of results you will have in your life. Very important. And that's why, more than anything, please, I was listening to John Obidi yesterday. I came in, I was listening to John yesterday. I snuck in yesterday. I love John so much. He's a great guy. And he was talking about the fact that his father made sure that he was always the youngest, the dumbest in the room. I learned that early too. If you say you are working with people and you are the brightest in their circle, I'm sorry. You're not positioning yourself for greatness. You must always be in the circle of people whose thoughts are far higher than yours. Oh my God. So when we switch to the realm of the spirit, and we're thinking spiritually right now, hey, and we are starting to think on the frequency of the Holy Spirit, on the frequency where God is thinking, He changes things. How do I change and switch to, because I call it spiritual intelligence. How do I switch to that? Is when I pick up scripture and I'm just thinking, because the mindset of God is the mindset that we should be using. There are problems that can never be solved normally, but by higher thoughts. The reason why the problems that are still in your life are remaining where it is because you are not exploiting the higher thoughts yet. We're not exposing it. We're not exploiting. We're not excavating those thoughts. That's why meditation is powerful. I get to a level where I just pick on those words and we just think about it. Think about it. Ooh, he said my thoughts are different from your own. No wonder his results are bigger than my own. So that's the reason. So we must get to that level where we need to start to change whatever you do. Understand this directly, that your thoughts will directly impact your results. So what should you do? Ensure that at every point in your life, permitting to use that of God, here, or, let me just call you, let me just say that to you. Make sure that you are always elevating your thoughts. Elevate the quality of your thoughts. How do you do that? Like I said, atmospheres. Intentionally impose yourself in environments that will pull you up. Somebody said to me, I've gotten to the wall now. I have no other place to go but up. I said, hey, now you're ready. Now you're ready. Because until you become helpless and you say to yourself, you know what? I know that this thinking thought here cannot help me anymore. There's an elevating thought. This one can help me. That's when things change for you. And that is very, very powerful.
The
so
first one,
yeah.
There were two things you were going to say. You said something first. Your thoughts, you said something about thoughts, perception. Would determine
Yes,
your,
I said,
somebody wants
yeah,
to
I said
repeat it, please.
okay, wants me, okay, beautiful. So your thought life is how your mind perceives, how you perceive, how you receive information, how you perceive things, how you read meaning to life. Okay? Processes. And then adapts to the world around you and in relation to it. So it's very important that when you are receiving, please, you cannot walk with fools and not be a fool.
Come on.
You can't walk with the wise and not be wise.
Come on.
Why? Their thought frequency, the way they think, that is what makes a difference. Somebody says it and it's become a cliche. And we say it, you just say it casually, but it's the reality. How can you walk with 5 billionaires and not be the 6th person? Because there's a way they think. Your influence matters, your relationships matter. You cannot afford. Look, oh, maybe this is becoming a relationship TED Talk, Abi. So, so this is it. I discovered your friends will determine your end.
Hey.
But can I warn you? Before they determine your end, they will determine your process too. It's very, very powerful. And listen, we were not born into a company of friends. We were born into a family. So meaning that you are the one that chooses, you are the one that decides to choose who you work with. You are the one who choose. Oh God, you choose your friends. You choose them. You are the one that chose them. But make sure that the people you surround yourself with, they matter. Because their results will become your results. It's a matter of time. Why? Because of the way they think. So I occasionally say to myself, it's very interesting. I intentionally go and read difficult books. Yes, difficult books. Difficult books. AI, metaphysics, we read physics, we read cognitive thinking. We go and read all those big books. You know why? Because they will force you to think. It changes your frequency. And these things matter. Decide today. Make up your mind. I'm looking for a book somewhere here. Okay. Because I write books, I read books. Okay, look at this book. This book is called The Psychology of Wealth. Right? So when I read it, this is written by PhD, Charles Richards. When I read it, it changed my thinking. You need to expose yourself to thoughts that are higher than you. That's what I'm saying. That's the only way you pull yourself out. So if you are not okay, and I'm going to stop here, if you're not okay with the quality of your life right now, please understand that your thoughts brought you here. And the only thing that can bring you to the level that you're going, take you to your destination, is the quality of the thoughts that you now expose yourself to. So I want to congratulate you for being here. I congratulate you for listening. But I say to you, don't stop there. Make sure that you look for the people, the brilliant minds that have what you want, and go and listen to, go and tap into their minds. Tap into their minds. Like I always say, I check the patterns, I look at the pathways, I look at the principles they're using, and I apply it. It's easy to accelerate your success when you understand these things. Thank you, Coach Evan.
You know what? There is a scripture that says, I think 2 Corinthians 10:5, casting down every imagination and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Jesus Christ. You cast down imaginations and every high thing that exalts the psychology of wealth, that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. It exalts, it's saying, I'm greater than the truth that God has put inside of you. I'm greater than, and then you begin to have imagination. So it says, cast it down. That word cast means to annihilate. That means totally destroy, exterminate, mash it up, grind it to smithereens. But the other half of it says, take your thoughts and put them in prison, put them into captivity to the
Come on.
obedience of Christ. Lock them up, throw away the key that you thought you are going to do what the truth is, because Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. You're going to do what life says. You're going to do what truth says. And this is what I know. My people perish for a lack of knowledge. We don't know is the problem. And it's God's own people that are dying. It's not people that don't know him. Oh. The people that do voodoo and juju and all those things, they are using these invisible spiritual laws. And they are getting results. They say, you know Jesus, it will never happen. No, God forbid, God forbid. And then we say amen. And then the pastor says, that amen is quite short. Then you scream, eh? As if it is that amen that will make a difference to your life. It is thinking on scripture. I didn't look at a translation to say, oh, that bring my thoughts captive to the obedience of Christ means is in prison. I've sat down with various truths and I'm thinking through them. How many times have I been to Genesis chapter 1 verse 2? What were you doing? What when the Spirit of God moved over the face? What were you doing? How did it come around? How did you just say, let there be light, and then you look to see if it was good? I said, but how do you know something is good that has never existed before? He said to me, I saw it inside now. What do you see inside? What do you see inside? Dr. Atiba said it. Dr. Naomi said it. You decide, oh, it's going to be bad. You're not the only one that goes through this. All of us go through it. Oh, I don't have enough money for. No. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. That's true. Please remove your religious brain, your church brain, and put on your thinking cap. You don't need all that religion. Remove the cultural brain, remove the traditional brain. Just take it off. Throw it away. Never use it again. And put on your thinking cap. And snap out of bad behavior. So I want to see Charles Richard's PhD. Okay, you are giving them the title. Please, do you know the author? Okay, The Psychology of Money, or I'm just making sure.
Yeah, so that's the author. That's the author. That's the author.
Please, what's the title? Okay, thank you. Okay, so that's what everybody's been writing. So I wanted to point out something else. The question is, how do you change your mind? Because he said change your mind. Dr. Naomi said the same thing, change your mind. Please, let me ask both of them. How do we change our mind? Dr. Naomi.
Wow, Dr. Alfred, from wondering what you were going to say to loading us up, like now I'm wondering, what am I adding to this? Thank you so much. That was
Thank you,
so
ma.
good. That was so good.
Thank
And that is a great book. I absolutely love that book and the thoughts shared in that book, The Psychology of Wealth. So how do we change our mind? And I love that, we've shared a lot of scriptures already, but I think it's so important for us to know our identity. I think there's an identity crisis going on in the world right now. The entire agenda, people identifying as cats, identifying as this and that, there is an identity crisis. And when I think about it, it goes back even to the Garden of Eden, because when God created them, he said, let us create them in our own image. They were already like God. But you see, there was no understanding of their identity. And so when the sneaky serpent came to Eve and said, when you eat this, you will be like God, that was wrong. She was already like God, but she did not know her identity. And so how do we begin to fix our thoughts? You must return back to the manual. Put it in the comments. We must go back to the manual. There are too many people who are living lives that have been defined by others, defined by their experiences, defined by the negative things that they've experienced over time. And so we've carved this thought pattern, this identity that is not kingdom. that is error, error, error. And so we must go back to the manual. That's how we fix it. We must go back to the manual to understand what was written of me, what was said about me. And that is what will give you the boldness to begin to show up, to begin to do, because you know that you're not here by yourself. You understand that there is an assignment. The day you were put here on this earth, and the fact that you're still here, it means there's work to be done. And for you to get the work done, you can't be moving around with stinking thinking. All of this, woe is me, who am I? And let me even talk to the Christians in the room. And I know there may be others who are not of, the Christian faith. Just stay close, because I want to lash at my people. I just want to lash at them. Because you see, we've hid within the walls of the church for too long. Everybody's praying, Lord Jesus, come quickly. Come quickly to where? Have you finished the work? Have you finished the work? Lord Jesus, come quickly. We're so eager to let's just die and let's just go to heaven and let's just go meet God. You have work to do. Please put it in the chat. I have work to do.
Hey.
You're not going anywhere.
Hey.
You are here. And the sooner you begin to identify, well, first who you are, and identifying why you are still here, and then doing the work that has kept you here, we're not moving forward.
Come on.
We're not going anywhere. This is what drives the likes of Coach Kemi. This is what drives me. And I believe this is also what drives Dr. Alfred and everybody who has been privileged to speak, over the last few days on this platform. We're not just driven by, let's just show up, let's just make money. Any fool can make money.
Hey.
Any fool can make
Come
money.
on.
This is not about money. This is about destiny. This is about purpose. This is about assignments. This is understanding that at the end of your life, you will stand before a maker who will ask you what you've done with the gifts and the talents that he's given you. I don't want to be the one that they will cast away for not doing anything with her gifts. I want to hear, well done, good and faithful servant. But you must go back to the manual. You must understand who you are. You must be certain of your identity and give no room for any voice that wants to tell you otherwise. There are too many people walking around not knowing who they are. Because the moment you know who you are, you will show up as the lion and the lioness that you are. Period. 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 I'm going to leave it here. I'm just going to leave it here.
Powerful.
Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
Powerful.
How do we change our
Okay.
minds in like 2 or 3
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. So let me say this quickly, that the problem with a lot of us is that we don't have an abundant, we don't know that we actually live in abundance. We don't know. So Dr. Naomi has said it. Go back to the manual. You have abundance. You live in abundance. You have everything you need. Oh my God, how do I say this to somebody? The problem, let me say problem. The solution is simple. Reset your mind, reframe your mind. If there's anything I've had to do recently was to change my thoughts. I do it a lot now. I change my thoughts. I change my thoughts. I said it before and I'm saying it again. Once you say to yourself, I can't, you sorted it, you settled it. Universe has put a full stop to your life. Stop saying, I can't. Say, I can. Are you married? Don't say no. Say not. Do you have a job? Don't say no. Say, I'm on the lookout. To what there's a comma. It's a comma. It's not a full stop yet. And that's a problem with a lot of us. So we have abundance. Immediately something comes. I don't know whether maybe it's happened to you, but maybe you've had thoughts of death before, you've had thoughts of failure before, you had thoughts of depression, you had thoughts of, you know what, this won't work, and all those things. You say something. You say something. You put a full stop to that negative thought and you say something. You put a full stop to it. So what do you do to change your mind? You change your words. Change your words. Change your thoughts. Once you have a negative thought that comes to you, what do? Change it. So I change immediately from this thing will not work to there must be a way it works. That automatically gives me options. It gives me options immediately. Okay, so this is what we're doing. You know, there's something I wrote here I want to read out. Let me read that out for you. You may choose to shift your thoughts to life is hard. And I continue to, and I continue to experience joy every day. Life is hard. And I continue to enjoy joy every day. It's hard though. You see, it looks as if it's, because you put, and I continue to experience joy every day, because you put it there, you think that statement is right. No, it's wrong. You can shift that to life is a blast. And the challenges I face simply make me stronger. So if you change your thoughts, what do? You form new pathways in your brain. And it changes everything about you. So a weird thought. And that's what I was saying the other time, that most of those thoughts don't come from you. That's when I was growing up, I used to think every thought I had was mine. Then I discovered that there are several ways thoughts will come to you. Thoughts will come from God, from the Holy Spirit. It could come from the devil. It could come from the voice of your past. It will come from the voice of your accusers. It will come. One of the greatest thoughts that is so crazy is the imposter syndrome. That tells you, who are you? Look at you. You deserve what you're saying. You deserve what you're doing. You deserve what you have. You want to stand on that stage? The likes of you, they're not yours. They're thoughts that come from outside. They're outside stimuli. You understand what I'm saying? So what do? You stand. And this is what I say to myself. That's why affirmation works a lot for me and my community. I tell people, stand before your mirror, look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm the next thing that happened next to toast bread with eggs. Ooh, why am I? Why am I? I'm the best thing that happened to the world. I'm greater than this, I'm greater than that. Look at the greatest people that you think are the greatest. Tell them I'm greater than them. Why? Because I'm me. I'm just good. I'm great. Look at yourself. The day you can confidently look at yourself in the mirror and love what you see, you've succeeded. Because that's what I see with a lot of people. They cannot look into the mirror and look at themselves and admire what they see. They see less than who they are. You're great. You're wonderful. So change your mind with your words. Continually say things, write out your affirmation, and speak great thoughts to yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Once again, let me say it as it is. Are you going to do any of what they've said? This is not magical. It's not by prayer and supplication that a man is. It's not by worship and praise that a man is. It's as he thinks that he is. In fact, it is your thoughts that determine your praise. It's your thoughts that determine your worship. It's your thoughts that determine your prayer. Some of us pray strange prayers. Prayer, it says that when you pray, believe you have received. Will you do it? That's not Greek. It's not Hebrew. It's not French. It's simple English. When you pray that I would like this bottle of water and I want it to be empty, believe you have received it. For years, I asked, how can I believe I've received what is not physically in my hand? I mean, let's get, how, that's called thinking. You must think, how can I receive what is not in my hand? How can I believe? It's called faith. The substance of what you're hoping for, the substance of this bottle is the plastic. He says you have the plastic in your hand. Faith is you have it. The evidence of things not seen. If you go to court and they say, can you show us evidence that there was a bottle used to smash that cake, and you can't show us the bottle that was used to smash the cake, they will throw the case out of court. But the Bible That good book, please, you don't have to read it. The truth does not need defense. You don't have to, it's okay. And I'm sure the Quran and some other books have the same universal truths in them. They are universal truths that came out of God. If you do not have the evidence, if you can't show it in court, they will throw it out of court. They will say it doesn't exist. Faith is telling you that it exists, that your faith is evidence that it exists. So believe you have received. Don't wait for $1 billion. You see, the level of your reality is a function of your consciousness and your awareness. If you do not know that you have $1 billion under your bed and you keep spending 20,000 naira every day and you account, hey, I have to take a Uber, oh, hey, there isn't enough money, but there is $20 billion under your bed. You are not conscious of it. You are not aware of it. You will live at the level of your awareness, your consciousness, because that becomes your personal reality. Your reality, your personality. And you will school your brain in living at that level because that's what you are conscious of. They have shown you book. Why are you getting the name of the book? There are many of us who will show it on Facebook. Look at the books I'm reading this year. Let me see it in your life. Don't read the book. Go and shop. Don't buy that Psychology of Wealth. Go to the ones in your shop. Open them and use them. Do one sentence in them. Because when you read the Psychology of Wealth, it's going to repeat some things that you have in other books that you have already read, and you're telling us, I read it. Be a doer. Not a hearer alone. Be a doer. A doer. A doer. I was taking time on Joshua chapter 1 verse 8 today because I wanted to understand this meditation thing. You know, meditate is another word for think. It simply means deep thinking. And it says to observe to do. According to observe to do. Observe to do. The only way you can do, the only way you can do is to meditate. It starts with this book of the Lord shall not depart out. So it should not, it doesn't mean you should be saying it, I am good, I am great, the Lord is my shepherd, the Lord is my shepherd. Don't, you know, all this, and that's what all these people that don't know God like us, they look and they're irritated, I am this, calm down. Stop following all these traditions in the charismatic church. I did it. I had to stop, behave myself, say, okay, so all this moving and shaking, what is it doing for me? Has it made me a better person? Am I doing? And so when I get to the doing is difficult, what should I do? It's difficult because I want to do me and I want to do God. You can't read the Bible and interpret it on a physical, natural, material plane. You can't read spiritual things and be carnal about it when you want to live it. You can't. You can't say it's spiritual. The word of God is spirit. Or, you know, I heard God. Okay, God said, oh, I feel his presence. His presence is not tangible. It's not tangible. You can't hold it. By faith, we know that the worlds were created by the word of God. The things we see by the things we do not. I have a bottle. It's right here. I have it. It's in my hand. I cannot see it. But I can see it now because I've created it in this space. You've got to go into these things, but be careful and allow yourself to be taught, because there are all kinds of people that will take you into all kinds of realms and places, and if you have no understanding, you could get lost and get wounded and get confused. I thought it was not necessary. No, I don't have to pray again.
Coach Kemi, I want to share something. It's a bit personal, but I just felt in my spirit to, you know, throw it out. So I was having a discussion with somebody today, and I said, how about we create 10 million naira out of the hair? In the next 30 days. Just create 10 million. It's 30 days is too much. Let's fabricate it. Shebi, the word says, Abi, that the world as we see it, the world as we see it, was created by the words of God, Abi? She? And this same now says that let us make him, her, in our own image and likeness, she? So we are in his image and likeness. So we have the creative force, don't we? So why don't we create it? Why don't we speak it out? Now, I was challenging this person because one of the cars that I drive today, we spoke it into being. And so I got my family together and we spoke it. And we just said, so we started describing the car. We described it. We described it until one day, my 6-year-old daughter then, how old is she now? Sorry. Fathers were like that. Sorry, apologies. So, forgive me. So, all of a sudden, not 6-year-old anyway, I think she was 10 around that time. Just all of a sudden just said, Daddy, I see the car. I said, where? So it's parked there. Do you know that that same week, we saw it. It came. Somebody just called me. You speak it so much that it becomes reality. So I want to throw a challenge tonight to everybody here. I want you to do something different. I want you to speak. You can do more. You can do less. I don't care. Whatever you know your mind can carry. Speak something into being in the next 30 days. Wake up every morning and say, sorry, I'm a Christian. So I will say, thank you, Father, I have it. I have it. I have it. I have it. Oh, I have it. I have it. Thank you. So that's what I will be doing. But what I want you to do, I don't know how you will do it, but I want you to speak something that you want, something you desire, and speak it into being. Like Coach Kemi said, enough of all these things. Dr. Kemi said, enough of all these. Don't just hear and so that in the next 2 weeks, come and tell Coach Kemi, send that message. That thing works. So I did it. Somebody sent me a message today. I almost, I wanted to put it on Facebook. I wanted to share it everywhere. This guy said, the mentorship session you did for us for 1 month, he said it works. He said, now I have more money to give. I have money. He said, for a long time, I didn't have money to give even to the work of the kingdom. He said, but all I was saying to myself was I just wanted to have more than enough to give to the kingdom. He said, now I have more than enough to give to the kingdom. So I said to him, so you see, it works. He said, yes, it works, sir. So that's what we want to hear. It works. It worked. That's what we want to hear. No story. Don't show me your notes. Don't show me your notepad. Don't come and tell me, I wrote 80. Oh, you inspired me, sir. I want to see the result. El Nightingale said, don't tell the world what you want to do. Show them what you have done. So that thing you want to tell us, go and do it. Get the results. Because as we always say, results will always dispel every reason. That is it. Just spring proof. And that's just it. So that's what the challenge I want to throw out.
Thank you.
Write it out, write it down, and speak it into being.
And as you speak it, make sure you are seeing it. Make sure you are describing it. Be very clear. If you are
experience it, exactly.
Yeah,
experience it. Yeah.
If you're going to a destination, you already know what it looks like, so that when you arrive, you will know you have arrived. You're not just, where are you going? I'm just going. I'm going to where? And when I get there, I'm not sure. You can't do that in this spirit space that we are talking about. You've got to be very clear. The evidence must be with you. You must know.
Yeah.
You must know that the cake is brown. It has a chocolate cone. I mean, with distinction. The 2 cars I will
smell
have,
it.
Yeah.
Smell it. Taste it.
I have gone on a Google. I've looked at the different types. I've looked at the interior. I've looked at the color I want. I've looked at the kind of steering wheel. I know the house I want to live in. I know how the staircase is. I know where the kitchens are. I know how many bedrooms. I know which is mine. I know where my grandkids will be. I know the gate to enter. I know where I'm going to and plant all my banana trees, mango trees all around. I can see my driver and his family prospering.
Woo!
A good man,
Come on.
a solid man. Don't play. Bring it down to grainy things, grainy things. Feel it. Taste the cake if that's what you want. See yourself in the car. Because what I'm saying to you is, do not just be parroting it. I am great. I am good. I have my car. Because Dr. Atiba said, do for 30 days. I have my car. If you are saying, I have my car, and your thoughts are not in agreement with what you are saying, they must be vibrating at the same frequency. If you can't see it, keep quiet. Be still. Be still. That's when
visualize it.
amazing things
Visualize
come
it first.
Be still, relax, chill out, one by one, bit by bit, and let this crown it for you. Because the day I found this just blessed me. Everything you dream of, think of, ask for, already exists. It's not coming to you.
Woo!
Let us pray that God will come. He is not coming, he's here. You're already his temple. He lives in you. You are alive and walking and talking. He is inside. Greater is he that's in me. And then what happened? And you're waiting for him to come again. You're waiting for power that you already have. Look, let me repeat, you don't have to be a Christian. I'm not preaching at you or to you. You don't have to know God. You don't have to know Jesus. You are created by him. He is in you. We have been taught wrong in church. It's when you become a Christian, God's in you. No, he is in you. You are the essence of the one that created you. His essence is in you. But you cannot live above the level of your awareness or your consciousness. If you're not conscious of it, you're not aware of it, you just be looking at all these people making noise. God is good. God is this. Yeah. And then you'll be wondering, why are you not like this? Since you're saying God, why? But that's the truth. There are many poor people seated in church. There are many frustrated people seated. They are talking to you. They sit next to you, gone. And they'll say, oh, God is good. And they walked to church. They are walking back. They've been walking like that for the last 10 years. They have served in church. They have gone for this, what do you call it, conference, yearly retreat. We are doing 21 days. We are going to the mountain. The mountain is richer than you. Because the resources are in the mountain, they come out of the ground. Resources are inside of you, but you press and you say, no, that's not how the pastor taught us. Are you a slave? Are you a victim? Or are you called by his name? Do you have power? Do you have his divine nature? Do you have power that truly can move mountains? One day I was praying about the person I will marry. And I saw sit on the edge of a bed, and we held hands. Our heads were bowed and we were praying. And I saw a mountain physically move. As we prayed, a mountain, a real life mountain, I saw it. I said, this was years ago. I said, what was that? He said, yes, when you get together in agreement, your cells, the cells of your body, of your nails, of the hairs that grow out of your body must be in agreement. You cannot serve two masters. Your mouth can't be saying, I am great, and your thoughts are saying, when will I be great? You can't serve two masters. They have to be one. The same. Moving in the same direction. It can't be any different. Are there any questions? Because I'm about to go into, I would like my two guests to please stay with us, but if they need to go, they can go. But we appreciate you. I want to read something. Do you need to go?
I wanted
Dr.
to
Kemi,
share
I saw
something.
some questions.
Okay.
No, let Dr. Naomi go ahead, and please pull up the questions once she's done. Thank you.
Okay. So I wanted to say something, and thank you so much again, Dr. Alfred. Thank you, Coach Kemi, because yes, there's so much power in our words. While you both were speaking, I was reminded of something I read in this book. So this book is called Worthy by Jamie Kern Lima. She was a waitress who struggled for many years, and then she had a skin disorder. And she tried every kind of makeup and nothing worked. And then she decided to, solve her own problem. Remember what I said by your story is a gift. She decided to take the pain and the humiliation to create a product. And then she decided to use real women like her. And everyone, said it's not going to work. For years, she faced countless rejection. But let me shock you, because a couple of years ago, she sold her cosmetics company, which she started from her home, It Cosmetics, for $1.2 billion to L'Oreal, becoming the first ever female CEO of the L'Oreal brand. So she wrote this book, Worthy. It's a fantastic book. And there's something she said, because it's one thing for us to want and to speak what we want, but worthy really identifies the place where we deserve we are worthy, because you can want something and not feel that you
Thank you.
deserve
Thank you. Thank you.
deserve
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
And so
Thank you,
you
Dr.
will hear
Naomi.
things like
Powerful.
this, and you will say, ah, I don't know, I shall want a Range Rover. But deep down, you don't feel you're worthy of a Range Rover. Maybe you feel you're worthy of a Nissan, or a Honda. I'm not dissing any brand, but
Yes.
you don't feel worthy of it. So let me just tell you in advance, it will not come. So this is what she said.
Yeah.
She says, in
Please,
life,
Yeah.
sorry,
you don't
repeat that. You
soar.
say it will not come. Please say it again. Say,
It will
let it
not come.
sink.
It will not come. And this is how Jamie puts it. She said, in life, you don't soar to the level of your hopes and dreams. You stay stuck at the level of your self-worth. You stay stuck at the level of your self-worth. Everything you've ever desired that you haven't touched is because you have not felt worthy of attaining that level, of getting that
Come
job,
on.
getting that promotion, driving that car, living in that estate, writing that book. You have ruled yourself up, and you've told yourself, people like me, these kind of things don't happen to us. In conclusion, this is what Jamie says. She said, when you change what you believe you are worthy of, you change your entire life. I'll say that
It's true.
again. When you change what you believe you are worthy of, are you worthy of that good marriage? Are you worthy of that
Come on.
million-dollar business? Are you worthy of that enterprise? Are you worthy? Because if you believe you are worthy, then you will change your entire life. If you believe that everything that you've experienced has given you a gift that the world needs, then you are worthy of the stages that will invite you to come and share your powerful story. When I started speaking and sharing my story, I had no idea the doors of opportunities that will open. It's such an ugly story. But I make bold to say that same story has taken me on stages across 4 continents. Not one country, not 2 countries, not 3, 4 continents. I've served clients in over 30 countries. Not a sweet story, a very ugly story, but it was because I believed I was worthy. And so every time I stand to speak and people start feeling, don't you get ashamed? Don't you feel people are judging you? Judge away. While you're judging, I'm
Come
taking
on.
center stage. I'm
Come
taking
on now.
center stage
Come on.
unapologetically.
Come on.
I am worthy.
Yes,
I'm
so
worthy.
come
When
on.
the doors are opening, when kings and queens are looking for solutions, I'm worthy. As a matter of fact, there is unrest in the palace because they're looking for
For
me.
me.
I am worthy.
Yeah.
So believe you're worthy, and you will get that which you
Come
desire.
Come
on.
Ah,
on.
Saving
Coach
the
Kenny.
best for the last. Come on. That's solid.
Oh my
Did
gosh.
you see the way
Hot.
she moved her shoulders? I am worthy. You know,
So
the
worthy.
palace is at an unrest. They are looking
Unrest.
for me.
Yes, yes. Joseph, when Joseph interpreted the dream of the butler and the baker, nothing shifted. He interpreted the dream of Pharaoh. Instantly, he went from prisoner to prime minister. See, there
Abby.
are rooms you will interpret and you will provide solutions.
Come on. Come on.
The you that walked into that room is not the you that will walk out. Those are the rooms I'm looking for.
Come
And I'm
on.
worthy. I am worthy.
Oh, yes, girl.
You know what? Let me quickly add something to this. Let me quickly add something to this, to what Dr. Naomi is saying. Dr. Naomi, God bless you. Thank you so much for this. This is so powerful. You know, I found out something years ago, and I saw it. I had a very humble start, humble beginning. Now, so I tell people, some people don't believe it, but there was a time I practically sold rat poison. Yeah. I saw rat poison. People don't believe, right? So I was selling rat poison on the streets. And so at the point, I had to write a book that said from rat poison sale to rat race solutions, right? Now, so how did I move from there? Was basically because I said to myself, me, Alfred, you're worthy. You deserve this. You've got this. You are going to share your story. You're going to stand in front of people and you will tell them how you struggled, tell them how you sold this thing. Now you're giving this kind of solutions to people, and you're going to stand on stages. And when you speak, people will wonder, how did it happen to you? And I'll tell them, I saw it. I saw myself doing those things. And I tell you the truth, that's exactly what happened. I saw myself doing this that I'm doing today. I saw it when I was going through all that, moving on the streets. I saw myself speaking, standing in front of people, doing also, and it's changed a lot about me. I've gone through a lot of processing, gone to a lot of schools, gone to a lot of things, but this is me, because that same guy saw something and said to himself, I will go forward, I will grow, and my life will change. People don't, when I tell people I was a very shy person, they say, what? What do you mean? Shy what? Where is it from? You understand? But the power of your vision matters. And the conviction that you've got a message to share, that you have something to share with the world, that is very, very, very powerful. So this story really, I connect so much with it. And, that's just, we need to totally believe in ourselves and know that it doesn't matter. Imposter syndrome or not, I'm going to say it. Somebody told me today, he said, there's one thing I need to build, and that's confidence. I was telling, that's what she wanted to build. And I said, you better grow it, get it. With all you're getting, get confident. Get it. Yes, get it with all you're getting, because you need it. That's the only way you're going to. Who will tell them except they hear it? How will you tell them if you're not confident? How will you share your story when you're not confident? You need to get it. So these things are very, very, oh my God. No, this is so powerful tonight. This is so powerful tonight. Like I said, I came to soak in, and I'm really soaking in tonight. Powerful.
Thank you so much. I know there were 2 questions. How do I get rid of past memories? And somebody else said, how do I know I am at a job and I know that it's time to leave and move on to higher things, but it seems like I'm stuck at a level and can't break through. How do I overcome this? Listen, let me just quickly tell you before, I'm sure my 2 guests are sweeter and nicer than me. You are afraid. Don't let's be speaking English and be asking big questions. You are afraid. You are supposed to step up. You are scared to step up because you're not too sure if you get the job. Maybe you've been applying and nobody has answered, and you don't think you have the qualifications, and you've talked to the people you shouldn't talk to, and they're telling you, no, don't go there. In this economy, will you stop being ruled by the economy? You can't be ruled by material things. You're a spirit. You can't be like that now. You're supposed to create your economy. Which kind of economy do you want to live in? Which kind of economy do you want to create? Is it the one that they are doing outside? The money is on the earth. Sure, it didn't go anywhere. There is nothing wrong with the economy. It's a group of people that sat in different banks and said, we're changing this. They changed numbers. Sure, money is not real. Your wealth is who you are. You are not living in abundance. You are abundant. It took an abundant person to create this earth, to create you. When I talk about me, when I confess or I'm saying things or a thought comes to me here, I need money. I am abundant. As in, it oozes out of me. Abundance is me. Me is abundance. It's just not, it's going to happen. When God says, what does that mean? God in you, he's saying through your mouth. You cannot serve 2 masters. For long, we've been serving 2 masters. The carnal one, he says, to be carnally minded. This is not about lust and sex. To be carnally minded is to live through the flesh. What you see, what you can touch, what you can feel, through your 5 senses is death. The Bible does not play. It's not kind of trying to say it in a nice way so you'll be upset. Be upset. just grow up, change, and be better. Because you see, when one person is better here, it will affect the next person, that person get better. And then that's how it grows. Global betterness. That's what we are looking for. So, but to be spiritually minded, it doesn't say to do spiritual things. It says minded. That's the way you think. To think spiritually is life, and
Woo!
it is peace.
Come on.
It's life,
Uh,
and it is peace. And we haven't started yet. We've got to dig into those words. We've got to keep quiet and listen to those words. We've got to think on those, like, what does that mean exactly? Don't go to the church and say, oh, get a book. You as you are. Do you know how loaded you are? Do you know how loaded you are? It's so unfair that some of us are so loaded, and it's just a few people you can invite to speak, to inspire, and the rest of you are working pastors, and you're just as loaded. But because you've kept quiet, or because you don't think you are worthy, or because you have a story, oh, I'm coming from village, I'm coming, it's because you lived abroad, oh. I was there for 32 years. I suffered. I did not buy my visa. I was born there. I had access to everything. I was evicted 1, 2, 3 times. Me. I was already a grandmother in UK. So don't be talking. It's not where you go, it's how you think. Every part of the geography of this universe, be there. How you think will help you. I was evicted. How old was Josiah? I think about 5 weeks old. And they put us, we lived in a close where grandmother could not pay her rent. They evicted me. I stood there in the middle, no car. I stood there in the middle carrying the baby. The landlord and the bailiff, they did not allow me to pack anything. It was the bailiff who happened to be female. She was begging the landlord, please let them just take something for the baby. Just something, just a few things, please. They didn't let us, and they changed the lock in front of us. And you think you've been down, and then you wonder why I talk like this. You wonder why I apologize. I don't have time for how you are feeling and how, oh, it's not fair. It's not what? It's not because you've been abroad. What? What? Go now, go abroad. Go. You want to japa? Don't just japa, ja esse, ja everything, and be going. Be going.
oh my word.
Go, Joe. Go. We are not fighting. We are not arguing. Is that where you believe you should be? Go. You think it's easier there? Go. I can go in there whenever I like. I have passport. I didn't buy it. I got it. It's mine. It's on the birth certificate. I don't have to fight for anything. And I was. You need to hear our stories. Then you will understand the reason we speak with passion. The reason we don't feel sorry for you. The reason we insist that you learn to fish. The reason we say you need to go through whatever you need to go through to become the king and the queen that you have been created as. You need to. You need to marry well and live well and think well. I wrote something in 2018. I said I'll do like about just a few minutes of relationship. And I want these two people to say something about. I sat down, it was 2018, it was cold. I was in the UK and I sat my back against the radiator. It was cold. I was the only one at home, and this thought came to me. And I called it #DearFutureHusband. I wrote it on the 11th of February 2018. I didn't expect much from it. I have over 1,000 reactions as of today, 628 comments, and 354 shares. According to my daughter, my mom has blown. Everybody, my mom has blown. I don't understand. I said, what happened? People were talking about it. I had nasty comments. I had women saying, it's because you don't have anything to do with your life. Is that how you treat this man, with your husband? I'm a divorced woman. No. I know from whence I speak, and I'm great friends with my ex-husband. Great friends. He has remarried. We can talk. We can laugh. I can call him to ask a question about, I don't know how to do this thing. We are great friends. Listen to, and I'm going to talk about only one part. I'm going to read it. This is how it started. I have been down the marriage road before. It was not supposed to end because that is not how God made it. But it did end. Part of me ended with it. Why did it end? I was hurting. I was changing to someone I did not like. I was becoming a different person. I was dying and I did not know it. I was not happy. We fought so much, I was tired. And worst of all, I was terrible at wifing. So, dear future husband, it wasn't all his fault. Now, allow me to use this opportunity to share with you the lessons I learned while wifing, but mostly after while I have been singling. Number one, I know now to bow before you on my knees, not because it is cultural, but because I would love to honor you that way and because you are worthy of it. I'm writing to my future husband. Number two, I know now not to call you by name, but by an endearment, not because you ask for it, but because you will remain soft in me and my heart each time I call you by that endearing word. Number three, I know to pray earnestly for you daily because God guides me that way according to the scriptures and because I want you to be guided on the right paths. Four, I know not to nag you now because nagging does not make you stronger but will move you far from me. I cannot live far from you. I will die a quick death if ever. Instead, I shall speak to the king that you are, even when you do not act like one. Number five, I know now to approach you wisely so that I enhance the wise thoughts that run through your soul, seeking ways to love me more and provide for us. Number six, I wrote 10. I know now that my character is my business and your character is your business. I shall be busy being a godly woman for you because when you look at me, that beauty of character is what you need to see that will keep me beautiful. Seven, I know now to speak words seasoned with salt that has not lost its savor. Why? Because God gave me one of his best. I dare not talk to you with anything but a salted tongue. Eight, I know now to look gorgeous every day, even though it will take work. You are so worth it. Nine, I know now not to lay in bed waiting for you to make the first move before we make love. Allow me to describe what I will do instead. I will prepare myself from morning until you return home. I will call you during the day often. I will think on you all day, resting during the day, no matter how little, so that I am not tired at night. I will take another bath just before you come home and perfume my body and dress just the way you like it. I will keep you on my mind all day long. I will change the bed covers and pillowcases and perfume the bed. I will drop flower petals over the bed and in our bedroom. What is your favorite color? Mine is red. I will have your
Hey,
food ready and wait for you so that we can
Father.
eat together. I will lock the front door and chain it so that when you arrive, I will be the one to open the door for you, half clothed. I will eat with you and lead you gently to the bedroom. I will serenade
Yeah.
you. I will be all over you gently, slowly,
Yes.
secretly, with grace and deep love for you and our Heavenly Father, who created
Wow.
sex for husband and wife. I will leave you panting for more when we are done. This is just a brief description of what I will do. Too many are reading, I cannot say it all. Number 10. Although I exercise now, I shall do so even more to get fitter. And so when you rub your hand down my back and I shiver from your touch, you won't shiver from the excess fat on my back. Dear future husband, I
Hey,
love you already.
my word.
I have loved you a long time. I will love you forever because you are worthy of it. Listen, go and invite 21. What's everybody writing? Can this be added to the Song of Solomon book? Listen, there were people who abused me. There were women who were bitter. There were men who went into my DM and took pictures of their penises and put it in my DM. There were all kinds of crazy responses. But some men were gracious, like, oh my God, just like Dr. Atiba was like, yay. They were like,
Yes.
do people like this still exist? But it is true. Dear woman, dear wife, this is not for you if you're not married. Stop it, you mess your life up. Dear wife, use your imagination. Think of on your husband, on him. Go and invite people. Let them come and hear this. Go and invite them. Tell them to come now to this. Think on him. Look at different features of him and see it the way you want it. See it. See it. Not see it like this with these eyes. See it on your imagination. See him rise. See yourself become see him become amazing. See the man you want. Serenade him. I remember once I fought with my husband. He traveled. I said, you can't be away for 6 weeks. He did ministry. I said, you've been doing it. You can't be doing this when we're married. And he went. I locked his part of the wardrobe, removed every vestige of his presence in the house, pictures, pens, anything that reminded me. And for 6 weeks, I lived like there was no guy. 3 days before he arrived, I said, God, he can't come back here because I am not. I kept saying I fall out of love with you. I don't want you. I've been having problems for a long time. So I said, okay, God, if he comes here, he can't touch me. He can't. I said, so God, you need to work love back into me. 3 days. It worked. Why did it work? Because I cooperated with God. There's one stupid prayer we pray. Hey, God, help us. Do you know why it's stupid? Because his help is here. It's like he said, my word is near you. Even in your heart, he's inside. He's here. But we don't respond to his help. So it's not that God is not helping, it's you that's not cooperating with him. So when I prayed, I was ready to cooperate. So my heart went, and I remember I started cooking. He's an Ishekiri man. I went to cook. I had spices called love. I'm telling you, for real. I will sprinkle love inside. I will sprinkle kindness. I sprinkled honor. All those thoughts were just coming to. I was cooking. I've never cooked anything so delicious. He ate and ate. And I was thinking, this is normal. He said, there's just something about this. That was in my imagination. It was in my thinking. There was nothing called love that you sprinkle. Nothing called kindness that but it was there. And we made love that day. It was amazing. Of course, the marriage has broken down. And I've been single since 2006. So, Auntie, if you are thinking of leaving your husband, it's not a walk in the park. I have not suffered like I have since I separated. The amount of suffering, all the what do you call it? All the being, what was the word I said? Evicted. That was after marriage broke down. After the suffer I suffered, Hey, there were times I thought I was not going to recover. I thought that's it, just give up. But there was just something. God has sent me to teach his people how to think. There was something. I could not die without doing it. It was a weight. I said, I can't die. I can't die without doing this. I must do it. Not just do it, I must finish the work. It's not enough for me to do it. I must finish. You know, when you put a full stop and you close the book, you finish. You've written the exam, you close, you finish. I had to finish. And that has been driving me. And let me tell you one other thing. Namdi knows this. There is a time for everything. There is a time for everything. I've been doing this for almost 20 years, 2 decades, since 2008. And I've pushed, and it was always like something was pushing back. I've pushed something. I will see my colleagues do some things online. It never worked for me. The day my mother died, the day after, 7th of June, 2024, I still can't describe it. All I know is that doors are opened. I can't show you where the doors are. I don't know what the doors are, but I know this mission. There is a courage. There is a boldness. There is a force that I feel because this is the time for this thing. This is the time for this thing. Not pre-planned. We planned this in less than a week. Namdi, Benjamin, and I. In less than a week. All things are truly working together for good for me. If you cut off my finger, it is working together for good for me. So, sister wife, auntie wife, I don't care what it looks like. I said it yesterday, and I'll talk to the men tomorrow. I said it yesterday. Our men, they are hunks, they are strong. Our black men, Nigerian men, they are this, they are that, but they are also fragile. They're also tender. They don't need you those. And you know us with our tongue. If we don't talk, we are killing them. If we talk, we are killing them. If we breathe, we are killing them. Just chill. Don't ever become familiar. I never called my ex-husband by his name. That was my way of respecting him. I never called him. his first name. I just decided, no, he was a pastor of a couple of church. I never called him. And when we are in the church, it's pastor this, pastor that. When we're in a party, pastor this. When we're in the house, it's sweetheart. Only when we are fighting, and I dare to call his name. I can count on one hand. I think it was twice I called him by name. Other than that, till today, respect. Respect him. Respect him. Don't hate him. Don't mess. This affected my kids. It affected, hey, the things those kids went through. Hey, don't be saying, I'm going, I'm leaving. Look for how to love him. Pray for him. The things that you see, and when a guy is missing it, a guy is missing. If your husband is missing it, they don't see it. They're just like, we're going for this. We're going to make it happen. I'm providing for the family. You know, I'm doing this for you. Be there and be the soft place. He will come back to, you're quietly praying. Shh, don't be. You know this decision you made. That's how you made that decision last year, and he messed up. No. You think he doesn't know? You think he doesn't know? He knows. He knows more than you know. When he's behaving like a fool, or maybe he has made a decision. You know, when they make decisions, they are afraid. They are not sure. Will he work? Will he not work? I'm responsible for these children and this woman. Hey, will he work? Will he not work? The best you can do for him is stand by him. Honey, it's going to work. And you know what? If it doesn't work, we'll do it again because it's going to work. You're not just my knight in shining armor. You're the wisest man on the face of the earth. I'm telling you, it's going to work. Watch now. But you know, it was messed up. That's your blessing his heart. He sees her, at least this one person believes in me. She knows, and it gives them an oomph. Dr. Atiba, am I correct? Does he give you an oomph? Does he help?
I can't talk because you see, you know, because I you know, tonight, you know, hearing this from you is moving a lot in me, because I just wish women would know that when God said, let us make a help meet, and I went to go search all the definitions of that, and I saw that the word help meet means pillar, support. And then I realized that the woman, for you to be a pillar, that means you are stronger than the house you are holding. You are more powerful than the entire, you are the whole one holding the structure. So if God says you are my pillar, he's saying you are more stronger than he is. So all the areas where he is weak, you will be strong. And now you now divert that your strength to now kill me. That's dangerous. You know, that's dangerous. So I tell women, you are more stronger than you think. You're more powerful than you think. Look at this analogy. You cannot call somebody to come and protect or support somebody if that person is not stronger. You can't. I was saying one day, you know, I was speaking to a group of women, and I told them, I said, please. So what Dr. Kemi is talking about is touching me a lot, because I don't think that if anybody tells me that I'm wise, that I will behave stupidly. I don't think. If you tell me every single day that I'm a wise man, there's no way I will come and behave stupidly. If you tell me that I'm strong, you tell me that I rely on you, I trust you, you know what it does for me? It puts a lot of pressure on me to say, I will not fail this woman. One day I told my family, I said, pray for me. I said, my prayer is this. He said, very simple. Pray that. And I said in Yoruba, in other words, pray for me that I will not lead you astray. So a man who is getting all the love he needs and getting all the support he needs will forever be on the edge to do more. But when he comes with all he has gone to do, that's what gets to me. We've gone all out. to struggle, do a lot, and then you come back, and then what you meet is insults. What you receive is disempowering. What you receive are words that, take away strength from you. So I say to women, the guy is already wounded outside. He's now coming home for you to treat his wound. Now you now poured salt on the injury. You now decided to take another knife and then you slashed it again. And then research now tells us that men now die faster than women. So that is the problem. That's the problem. So you want to enjoy the best of him. Abba, come on. Sarah called him Lord, called Abraham Lord, for God's sakes. And he changed everything. So, yeah, we have some bad men, but yes, we still have some good men. So please, when you see a man who is doing something, please let us just support him. So
And let your marriage work. Do you have
I'm
any words?
so touched that I want to be careful. Yeah.
Do you have any words, Dr. Naomi? It's so good to have a male and female here. So we
Oh
can.
my.
Thank you, Dr. Atiba.
Oh my. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
that was very vulnerable, very authentic and very real. I could see some of the, comments, and I just want to say thank you. Sometimes you are invited, to come and speak and share your journey, but there are very special moments too when you end up being ministered to, and that's what you've done tonight. I don't know about anybody else. I'm speaking for myself, that you've ministered to me without even knowing, and I am so blessed. Uh, I was supposed to leave after I shared Worthy, because I have two trainings this weekend, and I'm still preparing. So I wanted to quickly come out and finish up before I go to bed, but I just stayed on, and I just I needed everything you just shared. And to be honest, yeah, sometimes it feels like walking away. I've been divorced, and I found love again. I got married, and nothing is a walk in the park. Some days I just feel like God, come on, you know, can it just be sweet and easy, and just let it all be mushy mushy? But sometimes, yes, we do need to fight for the love that we have. We do need to stand. We do need to believe in the best, in our partners. And like Dr. Alfred Atiba said, yes, there are bad guys out there, but there are a lot of good men as well. And I think we need to highlight more of this, and reduce the noise about all men cheat, and nothing is working, because there's so many narratives that so many young single women are afraid to marry, and some are even going into marriage with the expectation
That it was
that he would cheat,
Yes.
because all men
Yeah.
cheat. So thank you for
Thank you.
pouring into us. Thank you, Dr. Alfred. I hope I can catch all the replays of all the other
Yes, I'll send
speakers.
it. Yeah.
I want to go and listen. Everyone who's been here, please, when the replay link is out, share. Just share, and be a blessing. Coach Kemi turns 60. When is the actual birthday? When is the day? On Sunday,
21st. Yeah.
21st of July. She's just days away from being 60, and what a legacy you've given to us all.
Wow.
What
Wow.
a legacy you've given to
Wow.
us all. I mean, this is immortalized,
Yeah.
that kind of immortalized legacy. You will never know. You will never know. But on behalf of everyone, I just want to say thank you. I love you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for pouring into us so selflessly. Thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for showing us in practical terms that our stories are a gift. You have released the gift of your story to us, as vulnerable as it is, and it's touched us, and it will continue to impact us even after today. No words, but thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I know
And
you're
I
very
pray,
good man.
I pray that this new season, this new year, indeed ushers you into greater,
Yeah.
that God will increase
Amen.
your greatness 1,000 times more. I mean, you're just getting started.
Yes. Yes.
You're just getting started.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
just getting started.
Yes, for
Thank you,
sure.
everybody.
Thank you.
Oh, love you so
Namdi.
much.
Thank you, Dr.
Namdi.
Naomi.
Thank you, Dr. Alfred. I hope I can connect with you. Are you on Instagram with that name, LinkedIn? Where are you? Where can I find you?
Yes. So I write a lot. So
Namibia.
and Facebook is so easy for me to write. So you
Facebook.
just check for Alfred Atiba. You get it. Or Alfred
Finding you
Atiba, you
now.
get me. Yeah,
Finding
you
you
get me
now.
there. Oh, beautiful.
So this
Beautiful.
was arranged with
Great.
Namdi and I. Namdi is a good young man. He's one of the good men in Nigeria. So I'm just going to ask him to
Wow.
say a
Bless you.
couple of words. He's a young man. He's under 30, but he's a giant
Wow.
of a young man.
Wow.
He's under 30.
Namdi, we celebrate you, sir.
Yes, so we
Yes,
do.
so
Where are you?
Thank-
Are you going to say something?
Yeah. Good evening, Dr. Naomi and Dr. Alfred. Thank you.
wow.
Thank
We need
you.
to see your face
Now,
so we can
Yeah,
identify
let's
you.
see your face. Come on.
Hey. Show your face.
I'm coming.
Okay, it's coming.
Well, okay. I want to say thank you to.
Show your face.
It will take a while to set up.
What's that? What does that mean?
I'm sure it's
Your head, your neck up, okay?
I have my setup disconnected from cameras because
Okay.
security and stuff. So
okay.
We let you off
Okay.
from tomorrow.
okay, but thank you so much, Dr. Alfred and Dr. Naomi. This has been amazing, right? When Coach Kemi said she wanted to do something for her birthday, and I was like, okay, this is what I think we should do. And she spoke a lot about you guys, and it's been an amazing session. I have a lot of
Wow.
guys community here, and everybody's screaming, wow, this is where you get your energy from. This is where you get your theme from, right? And I'm so grateful. I'm very young, and one of the things that John Obidi said yesterday was always stay with people who are older than you. Make sure you're the smallest, right? Right from time, I think that's how I've always been. I remember in school one time, a lecturer said to me, if you want to be bigger than your mates, you must be a fool for knowledge. You must break down yourself and be a fool for knowledge. You must learn. Don't raise shoulders. I know too much. I like to do, I know myself, you have to be able to bend your head, work with people who have this experience and learn from them. And this has been my path. I met Coach Kim in 2021. I attended one of her sessions, and from that day onwards, she's a no-nonsense person. Doesn't have time for to pity you and you can't be crying over your problems. You're going straight to work, and it's been an amazing time. To the guys who are listening, please, day 3, day 4, day 5. Is it day 2? It was other than day 1. Imagine what 3 to 5 would be. It's going to be fire. And I'm very thankful for Dr. Naomi. You said something about our story, right? You have to be grateful that you're alive. I've been through my own thing, which is one of the reasons I understand. I'm very young, but I think like my work in life began too early, too early. I got old very fast. So like I've been through my own thing, and I've watched God work on me and have people around me. It's been a growth session, right? She said a lot of things about relationship, and I've not said this before, but I love Coach Kemi, and I mean that because there are results you don't get by just reading, right? You need to hear from someone who has walked that path before. And there are mistakes you don't make twice. And if you pay attention, you will make them twice. And Coach Kemi has been a very strong instrument in making a lot of things work for me. I'm a smart guy, very smart guy. I like to talk good, right? But I'm a smart guy. But, you know, I mean, I used to just limit myself. There's always this ceiling as to where I can get to and where I can't get to. You know, I mean, like, you can't keep doing that to yourself, man. Like, you know, when I do something for her and I don't take it as anything, and then she's screaming all over the place, it was Coach Kemi who taught me how to accept things. When somebody says thank you for a job well done, I'm always like, I did my job. You don't have to say anything to me. You don't have to say thank you to me, you know. And she taught me how to, you know, receive thanks when you do a good job, right? And these are things that people don't talk about. I mean, I was telling her yesterday night that I'm in the most amazing relationship because I spent like 5 months with her, talking to her, you know, prior to that relationship. A lot of things have been working out, and it's been amazing. Thank you so much for honoring our short invite. God bless you all. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. We start on the dot of 7. I'll probably be in about 7:15, so I can yarn away and dance a bit. But you just join us and invite your friends. Thank you so much,
Thank
Namdi. You are the
you.
most special.
Coach Kemi, you know me and mine, we love you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I want to say this to you. You know, Coach Kemi saw me and she looked at me and said, I hope you're charging in millions. you know, she looked at me and she said that to me. I'll tell you what that meant to me. That was like something broke in my spirit. Something broke in my spirit. So, you know, background story, I was praying about some things and she said that, you know, and so you know that she's a vessel, she's God's servant. She's a child of God and she hears God. I can tell you that, you know, because you know, you don't expect to hear some things from some channels that are not confirmed. And you know, and when I heard it, I just knew, oh my God. So she didn't know what she was telling me. Maybe she did, but I knew what she was telling me. What I'm simply saying is, like she said, this is not a chance to be wasted. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. I call her an icon, and she laughed. She said, what? I said, yes, you're an icon. You know, she's a legend already. Take this, use this. This is not an accident. I don't believe in accidents. I don't believe in it. I believe that success is intentional. Success is something that you walk in. And so if you have been praying and God now brought you here and you heard all these things and you're not doing something about it, I'm a Johnny about it. Sorry, I had to speak Yoruba. You know, we have to really cane you, whip you well. So please, let's wake up and let's do something about it. And like I always say to people, honestly, please, when we see you, let us hear the things you've done. Don't tell us what you will do. Show us what you have done. In fact, tomorrow morning, show us stuff. I tell people, show me things that you're doing with what I've taught, what I shared. Show me. That's it. Let's see. Thank you so much. Coach Kemi, I love you.
Thank you. I love
Dr. Naomi.
I love you.
Thank you. Thank you, man. So I've confirmed, Dr. Naomi, I've confirmed your, you know, on Facebook. So I'll chat you up. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone. Dr. Naomi, I love you. I'll be in Abuja. I'll see you.
Come.
Yeah, okay.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
And Amdi, thank you so much for all you do. We love you too.
Thank you. The recordings will be available on the 20th of on the 21st, on the birthday, on the group. So you guys can.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Good night.
Awesome. Thanks for all you. Good night. God bless you. All right. Good night. Bye.